What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. Today I have my guitar, and I thought we could mess around with it a little bit. Blackfoot. Wait. Black fatigue. Black fatigue. Shaniqua, can you please... Wait, hold on. Shaniqua, can you please take out the weed? Black fatigue. Fatigue. Doing ghetto shit all the time, undiscriminately. Black fatigue. Black fatigue, everybody. Welcome to another episode. Stop. No, you guys cannot offer me record contracts. No, stop. Oh my God. Yes, I could be a pop star like Hannah Montana. I know. I turned it down. To be here, you know? I mean, yes. Oh, it's unbelievable how black people do stuff that's so ghetto. It's so unbelievable. Black people. Wait. Black people always say that racism made them this way. Black people always say it's not me, it's slavery. And it's literally been 100 years. Still they're talking about all these tears. Black people always blaming us. Oh, it's kinda rough. You guys should tune the guitar. Is it out of tune? I actually was thinking that maybe. Let's see. I mean, it's like black people sound like women. I just want you guys to know, when you guys talk about slavery, you know when women bring up shit that happened like a bajillion years ago and they can't get over it? That's what you guys sound like. I want you to know. That's literally what you guys sound like. I mean, it's like, get over it. Do you know what I mean? Okay, I'm tuning my guitar, and then I'm going to keep going. I think I might need a new guitar. I'm low-key hoping this is my Christmas present, a new guitar. So I haven't bought myself one yet, but I might. If no one gets it for me, I might. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Black people, you're the problem. You're the problem. It's not us, it's you. It's 2022. You are the problem. Hold on. I'm not trying to be mean. Wait, hold on. And I'm not trying to be mean to all of the black queens, but you guys do a lot of ghetto shit and end up in jail. It's 2022. White bitches steal the men from you. And it's because The problem is you. It's you, not me. It's 2023. This ain't had shit to do with slavery. Oh, it's you, not me. It's 2023. Oh, I'm still a little sick, so you got to bear with me. Black people, you are the problem. Yeah. I do kind of mean that. I do mean it. You know, it's not to be rude, you know, because I do love you guys. I really do. I love black people, obviously, right? We've seen my dating history. You know, like I love them. But, you know, in my life experience, black people just do a lot of ghetto shit. Black people, and it doesn't matter if they have money or not. So I'll give you my credentials to talk on Karens, and I'm gonna talk about white Karens too. I can make a song for you. It's 2022. Nobody can torture a man like a white woman. We're the bitches that understand. We're a little bit smarter than the black women. The black women, they'll beat your ass. But we gotta teach a master class in psychological torture, mental warfare. White women do it best. Manipulation. White women are the best. We'll make you lose your job, ruin your wife and heartthrob. Oh. Look, I think I'm credentialed to talk about these topics. I really think I am. And I can say this. There's a lot of things black people and women try to gaslight me on. And I'm really sick of the gaslighting because I've lived this. I have lived this, and this is not to insult anybody, although it is kind of insulting, right? This is going to be like hurtful, right? To the black people watching, to the women watching. What white women, I got smoke for us too. And there's things I think black people are really good at, and I think that white people are really good at. But we got to talk about the terrible because it's YouTube and people just like conflict better. If anyone cares, you guys seem to. I am doing. You're saying, you know, I've had a black ex-boyfriend, right? I mean, it's no secret. But I think that actually makes me more credible to talk about this stuff. I got to be honest. But to be fair, I always was an equal opportunity employer, but I was kind of chubby. Do you know what I mean? We all know where the chubby white women go. We all know where the chubby, I mean, you know, it's like when you're fat, where are you going to go? Do you know what I've been stuck on? I've been learning music theory, and I've been stuck on pentatonic minor scales. They make me want to kill myself. I crashed out of my guitar teacher the other day, and I feel bad. He's such a good guy. The best guy. And I just... You know, but I've also worked with a lot of black people. At one point, I had a 100% black staff. I lived in a black, I would say, I mean, it was kind of getting gentrified, but I'd say half black area. Augmented. Which one's augmented? I'm doing pentatonic minors, and it keeps confusing me because I have to remember what scale I'm in, And I have to remember what ones to skip forward and backwards. Oh my God. Oh my God. I've been crashing out all week. But I feel like it's hard because I'm learning all the theory, and the music people in the chat tell me about this. The music people in the chat, I understand the theory better than I can play songs. But they said that like once you get through the theory, then the songs they're gonna be way easier. But sometimes I'm kind of embarrassed because I'm like, I can't really do a lot of stuff. So, all right. Am I gonna get into the monologue, or am I gonna just riff? I'm having too much fun. Ooh, monologue. I don't know. Encore. Oh, stop it, guys. You want me to keep going? Oh. I sound like Adele. I'm gonna take that compliment. I'm gonna believe that one. Oh, black fatigue, black. But yeah. All right. How effective? Okay, so all right. I'm gonna put the guitar down. I went and saw Dave Chappelle yesterday. And I actually couldn't believe how woke his set was. I was like, because mind you, I've met Dave Chappelle before, briefly. And he said he watched my stuff, or he'd seen my stuff, which was kind of crazy because I'm like, you're like an A-list. You're better than me in every way. But yesterday, like, he was making jokes about like Charlie Kirk and like, you better not be pooping, dog. You better not. She's licking her paw, but if you guys see something, you let me know. But I really I've always liked his stuff, but you know, now he's kind of doing ghetto shit, right? It's kind of ghetto. But I like him. You know, it's nothing. All right, yeah. By the way, should I bring back these hoodies? If you like these hoodies, let me know. I might bring them back. I have my t-shirt press machine. I am selling 5 t-shirts that say "Shut the fuck up, University." So if you want to enroll your bitch in school, I do have like 5 t-shirts. I just wanted to see how to make them and how to sell them on my own. So there's only 5 though that I'm gonna sell literally. So if you want one, the day I drop, you better be ready because I got to figure out how to use this t-shirt machine. Good and bad depends on the person rather than the race. I don't agree with that. I really do think there's certain patterns that you notice. Like, you know, I spent 2 years with a Dominican guy, and there's things that you kind of notice dating someone of a different race, right? I lived in a heavily like Nigerian area, and I learned things about Nigerians. Like I didn't know that jollof rice, they have like jollof offs with the Ghanaians. Is it heat? I think it's heat transfer, what I'm doing now. And you know, like when I would hear Nigerians bicker, like there's a certain way that they bicker, which is different than like Black Americans, right? Um, and you say in my experience, you can't generalize. I actually think you absolutely can generalize. I noticed a difference between Europeans and white Americans, right? It's not just race, although that is part of it. I did notice similarities between there's things that are similar about Europeans to white Americans, and there's things that are similar about Black people in overseas and in America. But there's also things that are different. So if you're the type of person that doesn't believe that you can make generalizations, I would just tune out now. I don't think this is the show for you. I'm not trying to be rude. There's no hatred here. But if you have not seen you can't make observations, generalizations, and stereotypes. Respectfully, this just, go somewhere else. It's totally fine. So should I go over my history? I think I'm going to go over my history of where I've lived, communities I've been involved in. So I grew up in white America. If anyone knows Nick F., and the way he describes the suburbs that he is from, I am from a similar suburb. Not the same one, but about an hour away. I actually think my school, I went to private school, but I think when there was tournaments, sometimes we would play the school Nick F. went to. So this was white America. And pretty much everyone I knew was white. When it came to my school, there was about 30 kids. I went from pre-K to 12, 30 kids, and we had one Black girl, one Asian. I think if there was minorities, it would maybe be like 5 out of 30. But then I entered the sports world, and that's where it got a little bit more diverse, right? I mean, in sports, obviously there's going to be a higher percent Black people. And I don't know what percentage it was. I know basketball, I would say, is more diverse than volleyball. I would say volleyball, the richer the sport, the whiter it tends to be. And you kind of have to be rich to play volleyball because doing club is very expensive. But what would happen is the Black girls a lot of times would be on scholarship. Like there was this girl that went on to be one of the best volleyball players in the United States. I was really good friends with her. And I remember was like one of the few that got like free tuition at my club in high school and middle school. I can make a nasty t-shirt for you. I should have good unlimited merch. You're losing money not having that. Look it. People always think they can sell to my audience way better than is possible. Everyone thinks they could do it better. If you have a t-shirt design, send it to me and we can talk. So anyways, then I go to college. I go to a mostly white college, but again, it's a higher percent Black when you're dealing with Black people that are on sports teams, right? And usually these people, these kind of Black people grew up around white people because they're here, right? So if I meet a Black girl at Catholic school, obviously she is going to be a Black person that grew up around white people because we're from the same area, right? Club, not always the case, but more similar. Maybe there's one or two that drove from the city. But I really have to go into my observations that I noticed growing up, which were exacerbated by the fact that I went overseas. So growing up, I would say that I really didn't care or see race. It wasn't really something I paid attention to. They kind of tell you the blank slate, realism, whatever. Everybody's It's about character, not the color of someone's skin. And I think when white people say that, we really do mean it. I really think in our communities, we are taught that as long as you're competent, we do not care. We don't care where you're from. We don't care what color you are. Everyone says that white people, especially white men, are the most racist. But what I've seen is white men maybe can be racist in certain instances, but I don't really see racism across the board. I think white men, if anything, are stupidest. They really hate stupid people, especially high IQ white men. Now, I've told you guys, my father was a genius. My brothers are geniuses. I really would say I grew up around genius men. A lot of the men I went to, and even genius women, I actually found out the other day that out of my middle school basketball team, out of 10 white women, one black girl, 9 white women. Guess how many were doctors from my middle school? I would guess. This is just a crazy stat about me. Grew up, now are doctors. No, not 9. It wasn't that. We weren't that smart. 3 or 4. 3 or 4. I think one hasn't become one yet. So I would say where I'm from, it's pretty high IQ, pretty smart. I mean, that's not normal, right? That 30% of your basketball team goes on to become literal doctors. No, medical doctors. Yeah, they're taught tribalism, individual character. Yeah, okay. How many are still practicing? Well, remember they're around 30, so they might quit later. I don't know, but they just became, and even my brother's friends, like I think of the childhood friends of my brothers I grew up around. I mean, one like literally does rockets for a living. Another's a doctor. Another like builds furniture from his hands. Like these are very high IQ. I mean, I don't think I realized how smart the people I was around growing up were at the time. But it actually made it pretty frustrating becoming an adult because you don't really realize how lazy the rest of the world is and how I guess lower intelligence. I mean, the way I grew up is, sorry, hold on. That's my laundry. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Thank you. You know, and I just think back to the people I grew up around. So many are engineers, doctors, lawyers, nurses. There are some human resources bitches, though. There are a lot of dumb doctors. Okay, well, you have to be a little bit higher IQ to become a doctor. I mean, can we just call a spade a spade? This is going to be a little bit of a rambling monologue. So, because now the first time I noticed the difference between the decorum of white women and black women, I got to be honest, is in middle school. Pearl is a smart friend who builds furniture. Well, we're not friends anymore. I mean, I met this guy. He was just someone I grew up around. I'd say family friend, you know. And when I was in middle school, the first time I was introduced to like sexual behavior, degeneracy, whatever you want to call it, was in 8th grade. And I remember the first sexually active woman that I went to school, and this is 30 women. I remember, and this is kind of embarrassing. We had Facebook, right? And on Facebook, this was in the time where you like everyone had Facebook on their phones, but you had to like type every single one. Do you know what I'm saying? So you would shorten the words. And I would ask, well, does anyone want to come over today? Like come over to my house. And I would spell it C-U-M, come. I didn't know. And do you know who told me what that meant? The black girl. Do you know who was the first stepdad? Like I didn't know what a stepmother or stepfather was until I met the black girl, because she was a product of, and she was a really nice girl actually, but she was a product of like she had a stepdad. And I'd never seen that dynamic until I met the black girl. Building furniture is evidence of smartness. Are you here to nag me? Are you here to just nag? I mean, if you want to nag, yeah, that does take a certain kind of intelligence. The Amish make furniture from scratch. It's not IKEA furniture. This is some high level shit. Okay. Like, this is a black guy coping. Like, yes, it does take some level of intelligence. It does. Oh, hell no, I can't build furniture. I don't think white women can really cook, though. So I'm gonna. That's a different day. There are things we lack as white women. So I mean, I gotta stop looking at the chat. I'm gonna. You guys are distracting me a little bit, so I'm taking you out. All right. So I'm getting a little ADD today. So that was kind of the first instance where I just noticed, and I didn't notice it as a pattern yet, right? But like the older I got, the more I noticed like white women just did not crash out in the same way that black women did. Like they just, I just noticed a difference, you know? Like a lot of times the black girls would like yell or get madder than like the white women, right? Now, this was exacerbated when I went off to school. Because when I went to college, again, this was kind of during the BLM stuff at the tail end. And I just remember this guy at school had like the biggest crash out over the BLM stuff. And I remember he like played victim and said the police targeted him. But really, he was just had underage girls, you know, under 20, like 18 to 21-year-old women drinking and doing drugs. And I'm like, bro, you got the party house. And it was this big, like, it was this big spectacle where you're just like, you know, and I got arrested too in school. I'm going to be honest, guys. I did get arrested. But when I got arrested, I knew it was my fault. I had a fake ID. I don't think I got like an actual arrest. Like it was, in a lot of the high income areas, there's like slap on the wrist law. Like if you get caught with doing shit that teenagers do, there's a lot of like slap, like it ended up being a parking ticket. Yeah, I did. I did enjoy the fake IDs. I did. I was a year young in school. I went to college when I was 17 and I wanted to go to the bars. I did. But when I got arrested, you know, I did know it was, I do think I cried. White women love crying. You know, but it was my fault and I owned it. And I just took the L. But when the black guy got arrested, he went on a whole social media tirade, pretending that it wasn't his fault, you know? And I'm like, this was absolutely your fault. Yeah. So I noticed that difference. Then there was a girl on my volleyball team. And I just noticed how black women would be way more athletic. Like there was this girl who was my position. And again, nice girl, nothing against her. But we would have to do these burpees, right? These burpee circles. Oh my God. It was like, you have to do 50 burpees in 4 minutes or something, or 2 minutes. I don't remember. But there was one that was like a group where as a group, you had to get 100 burpees in like a certain amount of time. I think it was 100 burpees each. So like 500 total, a group of 5, something like that. And I just remember I had to do this burpee circle like 5 times because the black girl was so lazy. And she was more athletic than me. There's no reason she shouldn't have been like a D1 All-American. But this happened to me like multiple times where there would be like a black woman on the team and she would just be so lazy. She'd be more athletic but lazy. This wasn't all, right? Because there's other instances where this didn't happen, but you just kind of start to notice that it's like a different percentage. And you don't really come at this as a white person when you're talking about this. I really don't come at this from a place of hate. Again, I love black people. They're fun to be around. They're good spirited. And there's a lot of positive like attributes about black people. But you just kind of notice as a white person, they're more willing to take advantage of the system. They're willing to like claim racism at every turn. I'd say they sleep around more. Like I'd say black guys cheat more than white guys. Not saying white guys don't cheat, but I 50 burpees ain't nothing. Okay. I don't remember what it was, but it felt like a lot at the time. Okay. You notice that black people are lazier, right? Like on my teams, and I'm thinking, because there's usually one black girl a year on every team. I think out of 4, like 1 will work hard. And I would say out of 4, one will be really dedicated and work hard. Black people in the chat, the high IQ ones, are you guys here? The ones that actually got their stuff together. Is that a fair assessment? 1 out of 4 isn't doing ghetto shit? 1 out of 4? I think fair assessment. Unfair. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Should I believe my eyes or should I believe you? Baseless assessment. Well, I'll keep going. Then I went to corporate America, right? I went to corporate America and there was a black guy that worked there. And this black guy called fax lines instead of working. We were supposed to get a certain amount of calls every day. I made the calls. The white men made the calls. Do you know who the black men called? Fax lines. And this was in corporate America. So it's like you go higher and higher up the totem pole and you see they just keep doing like ghetto shit. I don't mean to insult you. I don't mean, it's just like, and I will go into white women because I do have a lot to say about white women too. I do. And I'm going to go into, I do have white woman fatigue as well. But you just kind of, you start to notice it. And even when I leave corporate America, I go into being a YouTuber and a TikToker. And I end up moving overseas. And when I move overseas, I live in a pretty black area. And I'm on a team with maybe half black girls. And I really did like most of the women on my team. But, when I got in trouble for the Nick F stuff, there's one black girl on my team who refused to speak to me. And it's like they don't even have the ability to be like cordial. And I just noticed, a lot of the ghetto shit that was in America was pretty much exactly the same in London. I lived in London. And if you look at my shows from the 2 years I did podcasting there, the black women were probably the worst, the biggest egos, the most overweight, just doing ghetto stuff, yelling, screaming. I mean, look up the Andrew Tate interview. It was a second generation Nigerian British girl that's over talking to everyone and crashing out. She showed up to my house in the middle of the night and then didn't understand why that was a problem. So I didn't really see, I saw some differences. I don't think Africans cry racism as much because a lot of them have experienced the real deal. So they don't really, then I had a 100% black staff. And again, most of them I would say did really well. But then you had the one or two that did some ghetto shit, like stealing a camera, accusing you of being a colonizer and a racist. And, white people just get kind of tired because it's like, we'll hire black people that come from good areas and we think aren't like the others, right? Or don't do this ghetto stuff. And then the ghetto-ness comes out and we're like, really? You had to start screaming? It's not hard to tell the difference. I don't know. I was really surprised when this one stole my camera. I got to be honest. I was quite shocked. You get better at telling the difference when you get burned a few times. I'll tell you what. I mean, it's like even Kanye, he's a billionaire. Or at least he was at one point. His wife's walking around naked. That's some ghetto shit. And then we get into the news and it's kind of similar. Now let's talk about white women. Now, a lot of people think that I somehow think white women are superior to black women, and I actually don't as much as people think. Now, white women, I think, are a little bit smarter and more conniving. So when a white woman wants to ruin your life, I think that white women have the ability to psychologically torture you, where black women will just beat your ass. Black women will throw hands, beat you up, but then they'll leave you alone. White women will psychologically torture you. And it's very difficult because on paper, they look very nice. We look very, very nice. But over time, like think about Steven Crowder's wife, right? Steven Crowder's wife went through his business contacts and destroyed his reputation behind the scenes, edited a video clip, went public, said that he was emotionally abusing her. And she'd basically been planning this for like a decade. When she had a full nanny, she didn't have to work. And he told her to walk the dog, and she said that was emotional abuse. I mean, that's some white woman shit. I gave up everything for you to be a housewife where you pay for everything. That's some white woman shit. And I really grew up around conniving white women like this. I mean, I would say, there's certain stories I don't tell on air. And I think about it sometimes, like, I try not to, anyone I dated, like the relationship, that's kind of off limits. There's certain things that I don't, but I'll say this, family stuff off limits, but I'll say this, I would say out of 5 white women, I was really good friends with growing up. 3 of them, 3 to 4 of them, the mother completely destroyed the father's reputation around the town. I mean, these white women, the dads would be at work thinking everything's good. And I remember around 13 or 14 years old, a bunch of us just realized our mothers were nuts and none of the stuff that the mothers were saying about the fathers were true. Like I had one white woman, whose dad was deployed. And the mother said all this evil stuff about the dad. And he was actually a really nice guy. So the way that white women destroy you is really by your reputation. They'll try to get you fired from your job. That's one. They'll destroy your reputation. by going to the media a lot of times or some other authority. Black and like Puerto Ricans or like Hispanics, I would say they're not told to trust authority. So white women, when something goes wrong, I mean, in our culture, you always go to the police, you always go to the school authority. And so a lot of times it's not always malicious, but I mean, 80% of the time, I'd say 80% of the time malicious, 20% no. But we're kind of taught that authorities will do the right thing. Even when they do the wrong thing. So a white woman goes to authority and cries, they're going to tell her she's right no matter what, and the dad is evil. White women get bored and start talking behind your back for fun. Yeah, so again, black women throw fists and white women. And the thing is, black women are so ghetto that a lot of times they can try to destroy your reputation, but like nobody, when Keke Palmer's crashed, and that's another one, Keke Palmer, right? That she's doing some ghetto shit. What's the other one? The Little Mermaid girl. They ascend to these really great areas and, ghetto shit. So, but white women, I mean, we look so cute, right? Like, look at me. It's like, so it's like white women, the way we destroy men is, we do it through reputation destruction. So it kind of moves us to the story we have today. I wanted to talk about the difference between, black and white people getting caught in an affair. And I just thought this was like a perfect example of how the black guy does some ghetto shit. The white man kind of, takes the L and moves on. And the old white women, I would say in particular, destroys destroys the reputation of the man and plays victim. So, there's nobody who can't take accountability like a white woman. Hold on. All right, so we're going to follow this story. University of Michigan expanding investigating after Sherry Moore firing. The University of Michigan is expanding its investigation after the firing of former football coach Sharon Moore, the university's interim president said. In a message released Wednesday, interim president Domenico Grasso emphasized the university's commitment to a campus of culture, integrity, and excellence. That is why we took a decisive action last week to terminate the employment of Coach Moore. And we are counting the investigation of Coach Moore's actions to uncover any additional germane and marital information to assess whether there might be related misconduct by others. It won't stop here. The university has asked law firm Jenner and Block to evaluate the culture, conduct, and procedures of its athletics department. So essentially, this coach is banging like a white woman on the team. Sorry, this coach at this high level football team is banging his assistant. And this is a fine. Let's look her up. University. So, and this is kind of some fine. I mean, this is I'd say this is like prime white woman. I mean, under 25, blonde, nice smile. He's banging this girl. And when he's banging her, he actually gave her a raise for like $80,000 or something. And he's married to this white woman here. So again, on paper, this guy's at a pristine institution. He's married. He's got half white kids. You'd think ghetto shit is he can't be doing this ghetto shit. He can't. It's not possible. So now, long story short, for whatever reason, we can maybe go back and forth about what actually happened, but the mistress goes to the authorities of the school, and she snitches. White women were kind of snitches. What's the black guy that got caught with that OnlyFans model and had to pay $1 bajillion to her? I mean, we are snitches to our core. We will snitch. We'll snitch. And so some people, I think she said it was because he was stalking her. White women do call stalking like pretty much anything. I don't know. Maybe they broke up. I don't know what there's discrepancies, but apparently he's in all the bitches' DMs. He's banging this girl at work. He's giving her a raise. And I don't think that's out of the question. Like the boss to assistant, or like, people bang their bosses and get raises all the time, regardless of race. But I'll tell you when the ghetto shit starts. So now he realizes he's about to lose everything. This bitch snitched. He's about to lose probably his wife, probably his house. And now he's about to lose his giant contract. And so he crashes out. And this is the ghetto shit. He crashes out and threatens to kill her and gets a knife. That is the ghetto shit right there. Right there. He wasn't being discreet. She might have blackmailed him. But you can't, even if you get blackmailed, you can't do the ghetto shit. You can't do that's ghetto shit, right? I mean, maybe she deserved it. A lot of white women do deserve to get their ass beat. I mean, I'm going to be honest, but that's ghetto shit. Now, he's in jail, or I think he might have gotten a bail, but now that's him now. See him on the left, coach. Ghetto shit. Now, I want to contrast this with the Coldplay concert affair. Now, last year went viral at a Coldplay concert. Now, I'm going to kind of butcher this a little bit because the details aren't that relevant. But these are two white people having an affair, right? An affair at work. They're high-level, C-level executives at work. And then he's the boss. She's like the head of HR. And he is the Chad CEO. Okay. And they're at a Coldplay concert having a good time, and this happens.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're
white people are not smooth. Black people can gaslight you into existence, but white people, it actually amazed me when I was in high school. I think I told you the story. My friends, I threw a party in high school. And I was going to get away with it until my friends came back after I left and knew I was going to be gone and my parents were, and they threw another party. One of them was a black guy. And I couldn't believe the level of deception. They just lied to my face. It was crazy. But a lot of white people, we just get more nervous because we grew up in high trust communities. Lying isn't really in our nature. It's kind of crazy the level that black people can lie at, which is not saying, I don't know. I'd like to say this is in broad strokes. There's a lot of, he tried to sue Coldplay. That's a white person thing to do, is sue. I'm getting taken to court by a white woman right now. I have to pay another legal bill this month from a white woman. So black women, at least, they might beat your ass. They might try to kill you. They might be violent, but they won't sue you. They don't have the money to sue. So, okay.
Having an affair, or they're just very shy.
Yeah, okay. So, now, mind you, again, this guy fumbled a lot of money too. He was a CEO. Let me find Coldplay CEO family. He had a baddie at home, right? So this is the white woman's family here on the right. And the CEO's family here is also on the right. So he's got a cute wife. Looks like little Chad boys. And do you know what they did? They did not do some ghetto shit. This guy was making $600K a year. They stepped down. I don't even think they had to get fired. I think they stepped down. I have to double check. They stepped down. Black men can't lose millions. They'll never get it back. It's not true. Isn't OJ still going? You know what I mean? But that's some ghetto shit. That is some that is how white people do things. Now, what made this even more interesting and why I kind of brought this back up is he actually ends up staying with his wife while the old white woman divorces her husband. And not only does she divorce her husband, she now gets a spread in the New York Times, getting to play victim. All right, let's see. Kristen Cabot. And I saw this and I'm like, this is some white woman shit. So, you guys keep coming at me for talking about black people, right? But I talk about white people too. I don't think it's fair to get the criticism. The only people I'm not fatigued of white is really white men. They're awesome. But white women, I could do 10 streams about how annoying white women are. Do I have to? Okay, this is annoying. All right, I'm gonna pull it up on Twitter. Oh, here we go. All right. Coldplay kiss cam, HR boss Kristen Cabot on 16 Seconds That Ruined Her Life. For the first time, the former astronomer executive speaks publicly about her panic after seeing the video and the impact on her children and the danger of the online mob. Like, would a man ever get this grace that cheated? I don't know, because, a woman like her, she might be conservative. I know you guys say liberal white women. I don't see a difference. So she was doing the wrong thing, and she's had months to come out and say, I am sorry. I am sorry. What I did was wrong, and there was no excuse. I am sorry to my company for making them look bad. I am sorry to the president for impacting his marriage. I was being selfish, self-centered, and irresponsible. I am so sorry. But no. Everything just flashed before my eyes. Kristen Cabot recalls the moment Chris Martin ruined her life at a Coldplay concert. So not I ruined my life, but the people that put me on the screen ruined my life. The moment in question, an embrace with Andy Byron, her married boss, was caught on a kiss cam filming the audience in Boston. Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. Martin joked as the pair ducked and hid their faces. A 16-second clip filmed by another concert goer and posted to TikTok became one of the most viral videos of the time, receiving 150 million within days. It railed an online mob bent on destroying the lives of Cabot and Byron, who were wildly assumed to be caught cheating. Cabot, having never spoken publicly about her ordeal until now, In an interview with The Times, the mother of two says the embrace was the first time she had been, and Byron had been physically affectionate. Both of them, she says, were amicable, separating their spouses. So what is she going to do now? Gaslight even further. That's what white women do. You could catch a white woman in a lie and she'll just continue. Black women, well, this is just a woman thing. I could have been struck by lightning. I could have won the lottery, or this could have happened. She said of the fact the intimate moment was broadcast to a stadium of 50,000 people before being watched and analyzed by millions of people. The attention might have been fair, Cabot reasons to herself, had she been famous or a high-profile figure, but I'm not a celebrity. I'm just a mom from New Hampshire. Even if I did have an affair, it's not anybody's business. It's like the Scarlet Letter. People are erased everything that I'd accomplished in my life and achieved in my career. This can't be the final word. Well, it is. It is the final word. It is the final word because you are a human resources professional. Like, your whole job is to get people to not bang at work. So, like, that's kind of like a cop getting caught dealing drugs. Like, what is the point of your job? You know, you just lost. Cabot joined astronomer Byron's startup tech as its human resources chief last November. She was headhunted by recruiters thanks to her decades of experience working at top advertising firms, where colleagues regarded her as something of a rock star in people strategy. So again, white women, men have known for 20 years that their sexual, being irresponsible sexually can cost them their career. White women, on the other hand, are now learning this. Are now learning that, yes, you're going to get fired just like the men do. And you're going to have a scarlet letter. And it's going to be worse, actually. Cabot heard good things about Byron. All of them, she says, turned out to be true. Byron was a sort of boss who made sure women had a seat at the table, that I was just as loud as every voice in the room as anyone else, she said. It was the first company in the male-dominated professions I'd worked in where I felt my gender was not an issue. They worked closely together, sharing the same vision for the company and how it could grow, Cabot recalls. I definitely thought he was a good-looking guy, and I had thought if I didn't work here. About a month before the concert, Cabot says the pair revealed to each other they'd split from their partners. Cabot from her husband, Andrew, the CEO of a family-run distillery, and Byron from his wife, Megan, a school teacher. I don't think the separation would have come as a surprise to him, but his definitely did for me, Cabot says by Zoom in her apartment in Boston. To have someone else going through it at the exact same time, you could talk to an amazing support. Over time, her feelings for him developed into what she would call a big, happy crush. So again, now trying to gaslight and downplay. Gaslight and downplay. When she was given 2 free Coldplay tickets from her friends, she decided to offer the spare to Byron. The night of the concert, her 14-year-old daughter, one of 2 children she had with her first husband, texted her to let her know her estranged second husband, Andrew, would be there too. She would learn from a friend later that evening that Andrew would be on the first date. It erased her conscience, she said, that she was there with Byron. Cabot says she was on top of the world before the kiss cam caught her with Byron. We were sitting in the back of the stadium at the opposite ends of the stage in pitch black, just feeling totally anonymous in the arena of 50 to 60,000 people. We were just dancing. I'd had a few high noons. Andy was standing behind me and we were dancing and I grabbed him. I didn't hear the announcement that the Jumbotron was coming. So suddenly I'm just seeing us on screen, she says. Her instinct was to cover her face. Byron's was to duck and hide. I'm not sure what to do, Martin then said awkwardly. Did we rumble you? My immediate reaction was, holy shit, Andrew's here. We were in the middle of an amazingly amicable separation. I was worried I would have embarrassed him. He's an amazing guy and he does not deserve that. Then a beat later, my mind turns to, oh my God, Andy's my effing boss. This is a bad look. Boston's not a big town. And while it wasn't an astronomer event or anything, but there could have been other investors or staff there. Her longtime friend, Elena, is the woman in the video seen laughing nervously. Cabot and Byron rushed out of Gillette Stadium as they started to process what had happened, thinking about what he should do next. They agreed they needed to send a joint email to Astronomers Board of Directors in case the news go out. They got a taxi back. They had parked their cars. It was pretty silent, Kabat said of the journey. All I could think about is Andrew's going to kill me, and what do we do with our jobs? See that? He didn't try to stab her. Do you see the difference? No stabbing. No stabbing. I mean, do you see the difference here? Byron and Kabat drove to hers more than an hour away. During the drive, she received a text from an old friend who had been at the gig, but she did not know that she and Andrew were separated. It read, dude. Kabat and Byron then parted ways and spoke on the phone around midnight for several hours, strategizing the wording of the email to the board. At about 4 a.m., her husband, who had not said anything up to this point, sent her a screenshot of the video online. And that said, I think you should know this is out there. It had been shared on TikTok by concert goer Grace Springer, which quipped, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Internet sleuths began hunting for the identities of the couple. Early the next morning, Kabat addressed members of the astronomer board. I apologize profusely for it becoming a distraction, she recalls. They weren't thrilled, but they were nice about it. They said that stuff happens. The Human Resources Department would be opening an investigation, they told her. Obviously, that was weird because that would ordinarily be my job. White women. Am I right? My daughter burst into tears. Kabat wanted to tell her children, her daughters and 16-year-old son, before they heard it from anyone else. My daughter burst into tears and said, I guess that means you really are getting divorced, while her son tried to reassure her that it would probably go away. It did not. The video took on a life of its own, turned into fodder for late night talk show hosts and gossip columnists. Coldplay Gate is a stark reminder that cameras are everywhere. It was even brought up at the Oval Office press conference with President Trump. Meanwhile, Byron and Kabat's LinkedIn accounts were diluted with mocking references to Coldplay. Lights did not guide Andy home, one comment read. Fake Facebook accounts were set up in the name of their spouses. It had all the right ingredients: suspected adultery, a tech CEO, the head of HR linked to one of New England's wealthiest families. So I want you to see this, because this is always what's going to happen. White women will appeal to authority to run cover on our reputation. Why am I being sued? Because of an angry white woman trying to use the justice system to run cover on her reputation, because it was exposed she was a terrible wife and mother and a terrorist. And her husband said something on my show, and now I'm being dragged to court. Yeah, I hate you guys. I hate you guys too. Astronomer itself poured fuel on the raging fire by hiring Martin's ex-wife, Gwyneth Paltrow, to feature in a commercial promoting the business. Appalled, Kabat threw everything away that she owned from Paltrow's brand Goop. I was a fan of her company, and she did this. And I thought, how dare she, after the beating she got for all the conscious uncoupling stuff. What a hypocrite. Yeah, and that's the next thing. She should have she should have just, if you get caught doing something bad, you just got to own it and say, I did do the bad thing. It was wrong. Oh, you're so evil. Da, 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 da. I did it and it was wrong. Instead of now she's saying Gwyneth Paltrow is bad for making fun of her. It's like, well, Kabat's entire life has been distilled to a 16-second clip, a video she has never been able to bring herself to watch. I became a mean. I was the most misaligned HR manager in HR history. I think as a woman, as women always do, I took the bulk of the abuse. People would say things like I was a gold digger or I slept my way to the top, which couldn't be further from reality. The amount I sacrificed to get in my career and the amount of hands I've had to take off my ass over the years. I've had to swat men away. Now, again, maybe that's true, but white men and men in general know that one bad move can ruin your career. And women are finding this out. Thank feminism. I mean, how many, like Tiger Woods, he had like an impeccable, he had to publicly, I'm going to actually, show Tiger Woods' apology. And Tiger Woods is actually another example. And there was like a car crash involved in that. And I'm sure the white woman was involved, whatever. But, when you have, are we date like Facebook groups talking about dating Tiger Woods? I mean, that's kind of irresponsible. I mean, that's some ghetto shit. I'm just being honest. But his apology was good. That was not ghetto. I'm going to contrast this. This was a beautiful, I reference this because this was a beautiful apology speech. And I think if you're going to give an apology, you either do, if you're going to apologize, this is the way to do it.
Good morning, and thank you for joining me. Many of you in this room are my friends. Many of you in this room know me. Many of you have cheered for me, or you worked with me, or you supported me. Now, every one of you has good reason to be critical of me. I want to say to each of you, simply and directly, I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in. I know people want to find out how I could be so selfish.
Okay, do you see how he's taking ownership right there? I was selfish, not Coldplay ruined my life. I was wrong. And a lot of people are saying in the chat that he's not sorry. Even if he's not, this humiliation ritual says something. I'm being honest. This humiliation ritual says something.
And so foolish. People want to know how I could have done these things to my wife, Elin, and to my children. And while I have always tried to be a private person, there are some things I want to say. Elin and I have started the process of discussing the damage caused by my behavior. As Elin pointed out to me, my real apology to her will not come in the form of words. It will come from my behavior over time. We have a lot to discuss. And however, what we say to each other will remain between the two of us. I am also aware of the pain my behavior has caused to those of you in this room. I have let you down. I have let down my fans. For many of you, especially my friends, my behavior has been a personal disappointment. To those of you who work for me, I have let you down personally and professionally. My behavior has caused considerable worry to my business partners. To everyone involved in my foundation, including my staff, board of directors, sponsors, and most importantly, the young students we reach, our work is more important than ever. 13 years ago, my dad and I envisioned helping young people achieve their dreams through education. This work remains unchanged and will continue.
Okay, you guys get the idea. I mean, this is the... All right, now we contrast this. After this video went viral, she retreated to an Airbnb in New Hampshire and went to the mountains. She describes being in too dark of a place to parent her children. Byron resigned. See that? White people, we don't cry, we resign. White women will play victim. White men, do you see why I'm fatigued with the white? I'm not fatigued with the white men. Astronomers' investigation concluded there was no evidence of an affair between him and Kabat, though the board wrote to the company's leaders. Leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability, and recently that was not met. Kabat stepped down shortly after, and there was a lot of noise about me not taking accountability and what actually happened. Please stay, she says. How give it... Wait, hold on. There's a lot of noise around me not taking accountability, but what actually happened is the board said, please stay, she said. And I said, how, given my job is to be the one to show people how we are expected to behave, our morals, standards, and values. If it hadn't turned into what it did online, I could have stood up and said it was a really bad decision. I regret it, and I'm sorry for the position I put you in. But I'm committed to this place and stayed at my job. Kabat and Byron kept in touch for a short while, exchanging crisis management advice, but have not spoken since. Kabat said she was saddened that no one from the Coldplay team ever reached out to her or released a statement that might have helped turn down the scandal. She believes Martin had helped manufacture. A spokesperson for Coldplay declined to comment. Now she's blaming Coldplay. Kabat filed for divorce from Andrew in August, formalizing the end of a short and ill-fated marriage. The status of Byron's marriage is not known, though he and his wife were pictured enjoying a picnic together in Maine in late September. They did not respond to a request for comment. So they're kind of working it out. She's divorcing. In the weeks and months after the concert, Kabat received thousands of emails, texts, and letters to her home, calling her a homewrecker and recommending ways she could meet a violent end. Her local radio station shared her address, and she started getting threatening messages from people warning her that they knew where she got coffee and filled her car. Throughout her ordeal, she wondered if Byron was experiencing the same level of abuse. I'm sure a lot of people say this is a dead story. Why bring it up? But it's not over for me, and it's not over for my kids. The harassment never ended. To this day, mothers still gossip about her in the playground. Strangers shout profanities to her on the street. Her children are too embarrassed to let Kabat pick them up from school or attend sports games. They're mad at me, she said tearfully. And they can be mad at me for the rest of their lives. I have to take that. She lost friends and even family members who never reached out after the incident. She has been looking for another job and has been told she's unemployable. The impact of public shaming on its subjects has been studied at length. Statistics show that women are shamed more often and intensely than men, especially when it comes to issues such as body image and workplace behavior. People can't resist amplifying someone's worst moment. Psychologists say that's because it works to deflect from our own anxieties about success and power. Many lose their jobs and, like Kabat, struggle to find new ones. Others experience lasting mental health problems. Amid the fallout, Kabat hired a communications consultant who is no stranger to rehabilitating the image of women monstered by the media, having represented both Monica Lewinsky and the late Virginia Juroff. Together, they hope to create awareness around the real-life consequences and vigilante-like online mob in destroying someone's personal life. So now she's going to do what white women do best. Play victim. Play victim. Right. But I wouldn't be shocked if she could actually build a victim brand off of this. I mean, Monica Lewinsky made a lot of money off of her book. It would not shock me. It really would not shock me if she could make a decent amount of money doing this. So. All right. Doug MPA had some thoughts. So, I mean, this is kind of when I talk about patterns in society, Black people go into white areas, they still do ghetto shit. So a lot of people said it's a poverty thing that makes Black people do ghetto shit. I don't really care the reason why people do things. I mean, I'm not your therapist. It's not my problem. Is it genetic? Is it culture? Is it poverty? I don't care why. But I've been in white areas my whole life. I mean, up to like 25-ish, 24. Black women and Black men come in and do ghetto shit there too. White women, though, we always appeal to authority. So white men are kind of awesome. I mean, they don't really do wrong ever. They're like trustworthy and amazing people. So I don't really see them doing much. I understand that like there's some Wolf of Wall Street type white people. It's not really normal. There's like lawyers that do coke. Okay. White men really don't commit crimes like other they don't. But white women, we love to destroy white men and play victim. So, yeah. The one thing that's going to be consistent is the playing of victims. Okay. We're going to set this here. I don't think this woman really faced consequences. Yeah, I guess she's getting like a scarlet letter, but I think she'll get a victim book. This is black women coming in. Your kind has issues as well. I talked about that for half of the stream. Not white men though. They really don't have issues. Their only issues, I'll tell you, white men's number one issue is being too nice and too charitable. I'm going to be honest. They can't say no to women. There's a lot of henpecked white men that can't tell they can't divorce their wives. And they should have divorced her like 10 years ago. Being too nice, too good, too moral. Yeah. That's what I would say their issue is. Black men, it's doing ghetto shit. White women, it's playing victim and psychological torture. I was bullied into talking about your kind's issues because you're glazing us blacks for a week. You sound like a black woman. Gaslighting. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, anyone that's watched my show for a while, there's been a white woman taking me to court for 6 months. Oh, trust me, I have my beef with them. I have my beef with white women. It's like psychological torture. But you guys do some ghetto shit. This is true. I don't care how mad you get. It just is what it is. What up, Doug MPA?
Hey, how's it going? I love this topic.
So you tell me, am I just making this up?
No, you're not. The Michigan State guy, he's making like 20 million, almost $30 million a year with endorsements. And he lost it over a piece of ass. Come on now.
Mid-ass too. I would put her as pretty cute because she's young, but I don't think her facial structure is like, do you know what I mean? Like she's cute because she's young, not because her face is that good.
Yes, I agree.
It's like, you get at least, if you're going to lose $30 bajillion, it should be over some hot women.
Yeah. And then the sad part about it is, I have all these black people. Oh yeah, we're being held to a higher standard. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. Okay, first off, that's not true. But second off, even if it is true, and that you're being scrutinized, when there's a bunch of white people, why are you doing stupid shit? Why? You're aware enough to complain about the double standard that black people are being held to, but then you still do dumb stuff when you believe that you're under a microscope and being scrutinized differently. It blows my mind. And go ahead.
No, sorry, keep going.
Oh yeah. And so I put another story in the Signal thing about Ime Udoka. He was the Boston's Celtics coach. He took the Celtics to the championship in 2022, and then he got caught banging one of the owner's wives or something like that, and he lost his job.
That's some ghetto shit.
Yes.
Some ghetto shit. Us blacks are aware that we have issues. We don't need you to tell us that. Focus on your issues. We would love to, but segregation's illegal. So you come into our spaces and make it our issues.
Yeah.
We would love to. Like, do you know what I
mean? And what Pearl's talking about is there's this girl on TikTok, and she literally said, I'm a black woman and I love going places where there's nothing but white people and taking up space. And it's like, why? Why do we feel this need to do that? I stopped going places I'm not wanted a long time ago. Guys, don't go places where you're not wanted. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, red, green. Stop trying to force your way into places where you're not wanted. Why do people feel the need to? Black people, black women especially, they just want to take up space. take up men's spaces, white people spaces. Why?
Do you know what's crazy? If we did have segregation, black people, there would be like a line of black men like Doug trying to apply. Saying, let us in, please.
I'm
Please
telling you,
don't,
man.
please don't put me with these people.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if it's either live in an all white neighborhood or all black neighborhood, I know which one I'm picking.
We're going to give you guys California. You can have it. I mean, that's the nicest. And then the white people can take Texas. And Doug MPA, what was your application process to get into Texas?
Yeah. Okay. So, if you're a black woman, you can't be a baby now. You can't be a baby mama. No weave, no tattoos, and student loan debt of less than $50,000. And you can't drive a Nissan Altima. No Altimas in Texas. No. And for black men, you have to have a bachelor's degree or at least 2 or 3 years in a trade. No children, and no felony on your record, and no arrests.
See, I'm actually more generous than Doug. I'll give you an ex-wife. If you have an ex-wife, I'll give you one kid, one mistake. But I'll put Doug MPA and his brother in charge of it. They can be in charge of the applications to get into Texas. Yeah. And there would be a line. I mean, I know there's some black guys that watch that only want to live around white people. I've seen you. There's like a landlord that's always in the comments saying it's terrible. I rent to black people. So yeah, you guys would actually beg to be a part of it. Now she's trying to equate it to saying, why don't I go back to Europe? I did, but black people are going there too. Every white country. And I'm telling you, I've actually traveled internationally. I lived in Germany for a few months, and migrants are like begging to come into Germany. Now Germany's ruined. I lived in London, Africans begging to come into London. So are Muslims. It's like white people, we just aren't allowed to have anything. That's where I go back to white people's biggest problem. Now she's saying who's to blame for that? White people, because we're too nice, too kind, and too giving. And so really, that's our biggest problem.
You guys know that the greatest human migration since World War II has been Muslims migrating to Europe from the Middle East.
Yeah.
It's been the greatest human migration in the past 80 years has happened in the last 20 with migration from the Middle East to Europe. It's crazy.
Let's see. You guys are now they like to say they call us thieves, but I would just call it winners.
Yeah.
Like
if you can't keep it, it's not yours.
Yeah, it's not. You got to be able to protect your territories.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I had someone that worked for me whose grandma grew up under British colonization, and she said she wanted them to come back because they were such nice colonizers. Isn't that crazy? They were benevolent colonizers. I mean, like the Aztecs, half the reason they got destroyed is because they were like sacrificing people to the gods, and the Spaniards came over and were like, we can't have this. We can't have this. This is crazy, you know?
Yeah.
And the gold, obviously. Go ahead.
That and disease. Disease
yeah, actually, you guys are scared of us, but had us cooking for you and watched the kids. Do you know what? I've had nannies from of all different races growing up. I had mostly German, but I've had Russian. I've had I forgot, she was like, whatever the country is that's going to Germany a lot. I can't remember the name. I had South America. If anybody is a passport bro expert, it should be me, because I literally had all of these nannies from around the world. And I could tell you the pros and cons of parenting. Like I could tell you the pros and cons of each like country you go to. And I got to say, we had one black nanny and she was really, she was not a good cook. Like she wasn't very good at her job. I'm just being honest. The Germans were the best. I mean, that was Germans. One was like what is it called when they're from Amsterdam? She was really good.
Dutch.
I point out black issues because they're in my face. That's my point. Is they're in my face because you guys have to be wherever we go.
Why is it always the B dubs that start going back and forth with you in the chat?
Yeah, and obviously I have real world experience with this. This isn't like, I talk about it a lot because I've actually experienced of it. Like I've actually lived it. So, they can get mad all they want. I don't really care, but you guys saw me. I went on all the black shows. I had a bunch of black people on my podcast. I had a black staff. You have real world experiences that probably line up with mine if you're being honest, but you guys will lie about it. So I mean, Doug MPA, did you have similar experiences?
Of course, my whole life. And I haven't said this on this stream yet, but I try to say it on every single stream that I'm on with you about this. American black women are the scum of the earth, dude. Absolute scum of the earth. No men have worse women to choose from than black men. Nobody does. And this woman in the chat is showing you exactly why. Guys, not all, I'd say maybe like 80%. And this whole black fatigue thing, everything Pearl is saying, she's saying it as an outsider. It's even worse for successful, ambitious, competitive black people with a work ethic, integrity, a highly valued skill, highly valued trade. We feel it even worse than white people. I haven't heard Pearl lie at all this entire stream. Sorry.
You guys can call in.
Yeah.
Have you had a similar experience or you think I'm wrong?
Have Homegirl call in.
Shaniqua, call in. Let's talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Loud
Dolly lookalike.
Can you pin it for me? If you don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can't do it from StreamYards.
I'll do it.
Thank you, Doug. Doug MPA. You could come to the segregated America. Look at white people are so nice. We're like, oh, black guy's nice, doesn't commit. Come on in.
Well,
we're like, you can have one baby mama. Trump is yes, fine. Come on in.
What did Nick say? He's like, if black people were nice and had all the integrity, we'd be like, oh, look, it's a bunch of black people. Come on in. But that's not the case. I'm telling you, I've had black fatigue my entire life, dude. My entire life. And guys, Pearl tried. I remember everything that she's talking about when it came to her staff in London, the person stealing from her. We've been acquaintances and friends and stuff the whole time, and she was telling me these stories as they happened, and I couldn't believe it was happening to her. I could believe it happened, but I couldn't believe it was happening to her, and it was just sad because Pearl has given more people the opportunity of a lifetime in her 29 years on this planet, and they keep fumbling it, especially the black people.
Especially the black people.
Yep.
Like white person never robbed me, and they've had equal as, if not more, opportunity to. Oh, let me get this straight. I'm the reason you won't get anywhere. That's why black women have herpes. Because of Pearl. That's why black women are overweight. Because I made you eat too much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course. Tell you, excuses, no accountability, none of that.
See if anyone calls in.
Yeah, guys, make sure to like the videos, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that super chat button. All super chats go to Pearl's divorce documentary, so make sure to hit the super chat button and call in. And are we white? Are we wrong? What has been your experience? Now make sure to code your land. Try not to be as direct enough to get the stream taken down. Come on, guys, be tactful when you call in.
Well, I'm not wrong. So if anyone calls in and tells me that I'm wrong, I'm like, well, I'm just going to kick you because, and the reason I'll kick you is because I just don't want to be gaslit. So you could say I've had a different experience, but if you're going to say that I'm wrong, that just means you just don't like me and don't believe what I'm saying, which is fine, but it's not really worth. It's like, I don't need to, I'm over 65, married a black guy in the late 70s, widowed in 2000. Pearl's right about everything. Look. And Are you going to call in, Shaniqua?
I keep telling you,
It's so crazy. You're not wrong, but the issue is you're lying about your kind. And how would you know? I just can't imagine you're in white circles.
guys, I can tell you,
I can't imagine.
when this whole thing started, Pearl and I had a conversation about, white crimes, black crimes, white issues, black issues. And let me tell you, everything you could say about white people, Pearl can acknowledge, but she doesn't try to gaslight you. Pearl knows you could say, well, white people do this, okay, but we're talking about black people, and people tend to get upset when you talk about black people. Even other black people can't talk about black people.
I grew up in a white area, and around very intelligent people. Again, the fact that my dad told me this the other day, that 3 women I played with in middle school are now doctors. So is one of my brother's childhood friends. If I look at my brother's childhood friend, one works in marketing, so I think he's normal. One is a high level engineer, and one's a doctor. It's this is who I grew up around. Another one's an accountant, I think, but. And, black people come into these areas and do ghetto shit. It just, it is what it is. Keep standing on business. The truth hurts, but it's the best sanitizer. I don't know why black people should love me. I'm so honest. I mean, it's better than these people that are pandering to you. I mean, what, do you want me to come out and get my black square? Is that what you want? You want me to come out and
wear your BLM shirt?
Yeah,
how'd that work out for us, guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's
you see that one of those angry freaking lesbos is actually being charged with fraud and stuff. Is in jail finally.
Yeah, and black people kind of are the only ones with issues. White people have issues, but again, white men, it's too nice, too doing too much. Where, white women I could go on about. I'm losing a lot of money to a white woman right now. She's probably cost me 10 grand. Could be worse. A lot of these court cases are way worse. But it's just the not knowing when it's going to end. That's the thing with white women. Black women will beat your ass and leave. White women will do a court case for 10 years. And the worst part is another white man's paying for it because he believed her. That's what I mean. Too nice, too trusting. All right, we got Handyman. What up, Handyman?
Hey, how you doing, Pearl? How's it been?
Good. What's your thoughts? You have a personal experience, disagreement? What have you come here to share?
I have a slight disagreement with you.
Okay.
I don't think you're being precise enough. I don't think it's not skin color. It's not race. Although that's super easy to point to because, black people are really easy to point out. I think it has more to do with their culture in general, which if you read any Thomas Sowell, the ghetto culture.
I've read that book. I just don't agree with it. Because
it came over from Europe.
No, I know where you're gonna go with it. I've read it's black rednecks, white liberals. I've read it.
You have? Okay.
I just don't agree because again, it's you could give an academic assessment and whatever, but I have to go with my eyes. And I've lived in England and I've lived in Germany. And these are blacks from Africa, blacks from the United States, blacks from Europe.
There's the genetic component of IQ, obviously. So in a sense, I somewhat agree with you that there's somewhat of a genetic component because if you hierarchy all of the IQs, Asians and Anunnaki Jews are at the top, and then whites.
But it doesn't. We're not really debating why, right? The point. Who cares why? It's the point is they come into white spaces and do ghetto shit, and that does happen.
Yeah. But
here's the thing. The reason why Pearl wants to stop talking about the whys, it's like the black community. Okay. slavery happened, Jim Crow happened, white people did all these terrible things to black people. Okay, but what are you going to do about it now? Because discovery of how we got here, it's work, but it's not the real work. Figuring out what to do about it in the present for a better future is where the real work starts.
Absolutely. You're not this generational racism or like a century ago, I had slavery in my family. Therefore, today there's generational oppression or whatever. That's a bunch of crap. I'm not. What I'm really getting. My slight disagreement is that it's not like it's not the skin. It's not the pigment of the skin that's causing the issue.
It's like, but I don't care why. Like you're saying talk about why, but I'm like, I don't care why. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if it's because of the pigment or the culture, or whatever. It's when black people come into white spaces, this is what they do. Ghetto shit.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. But I don't think it's because I don't think it's their blackness that's the cause. I think it's more of a culture thing.
Okay. Well, this is a conversation.
It's an easily identifiable thing, right?
We don't want to have it now, so thank you.
Like, see, white men are so nice. They come in and they're saying, say it nicer.
But it's ma culture in ma slavery in ma get out of here.
No, I just don't care why. I don't care why. Like, I just want to talk about what's happened. It's like, and I learned this from my dad. I've explained some of these theories to my dad. And my dad's a really intelligent, like really one of the highest IQ people I think I've ever met in my life. It's like, yeah, when you get robbed from a black person, do I care if it's their race or their culture? I don't give a fuck. I just want my camera.
Yep.
You know, and actually, and it's again, it goes back to like, they want to say, oh, there's this book. And I've read that book, actually, Black Rednecks, White Liberals. I used to read it. I used to listen to it when I ran, but I just don't agree, because I've seen, like, I've lived this, right? I've been in white areas. I've met the black girls that came from a white culture where I'm right there, right? I like, there's one that was in my school from like second grade. There's another one that I played club with for like 10 years. They still do the ghetto shit. Why? I don't really care. But you know, Thomas Sowell can say this is what he thinks and this is the data, whatever. But it doesn't matter if, you know, the girl who taught me what sex is the girl in my white school, the one black girl in the class. You know, I never even knew what a hand job was. You know, like that's something that should have came from my parents, and it comes from the one black girl in class. And I actually liked it. She was a cool person, but you know, she was throwing it back at like 13. It's like, if the white girls were doing it, I didn't hear about it.
Yeah. Once again, that a guy just
he put it in the back. You have to identify the why so you can solve it. I think it's pretty unrealistic to think that you can solve any of these problems. It's actually unsolvable. It's actually completely unsolvable. You as a normal, like, you know, that's why my dad, you know, he would always tell me to just give the women abortion, because he knows that's an unsolvable problem.
Yeah. Yep. All you can do is do your best to minimize how the issues affect you. Move to certain neighborhoods. You know, just, you know, if you see 4 ninjas walking down the street towards you, cross the street. Myron said it the best. He's like, all you people, even the black ones at this table, are crossing the street. If you see 4 ninjas coming towards you, walking down the street, and I agree with them 100%.
We know that there's people in the black community that steal. We get it. You ramble about it. It's like, then why are you here? See, this is what I mean. Black women and arguing.
I think about it.
I can be muted and turned off at any time. And yet you come here, it's like, I'm talking about my experiences, and you come here to gaslight me about my experience, or say, well, this is why we do it. I don't give a fuck. And then, you know, they keep, you know, this another guy says Pearl's running from Marquette or whatever you say his name. I am, because I'm fatigued. I'm done. I'm kind of done with the ghetto stuff. It's like I'm running from your terrible personality.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I
And
mean,
who is Marquette?
improve it, and maybe I'll reconsider. But I am running from your terrible personality and the ghetto shit. Yeah. So
Yeah, guys, come on. All Marquette has to do is say, "Hey, Pearl, I would like to come on onto your channel and discuss this topic," but he hasn't done that yet. He literally feels
ghetto
we're in
shit.
this new we're in this new environment where you have to debate me or else you're a coward. Have that start becoming a thing. Who are you? Before you throw down the glove to debate somebody, ask yourself who do you think you are?
And it's so crazy. The craziest thing is like, it's like they don't like the way I talk, and I'm like, we could never talk again. This is completely voluntary. This is completely voluntary. I'm getting to join your channel. Thank you. Thank you. And it's like, and it's crazy. When we see it, I want to tell the black people watching, when white people see ghetto shit, we don't want to argue with you. We just leave. Like, have you ever had a woman crash out on you and she thinks she won because you stop talking or walk away? It's the same thing. Do you know, I had this other really smart white guy I wanted to bring on Lapeef. And he just said, I can't deal with like black, they overtalk. Like, I can't do it because they're just going to crash out. And that's how it is with a lot of you guys. It's like, okay, you did some ghetto shit, and then you expect me, it's like you do ghetto shit, and then they expect us to engage, and we're like, well, we're gonna stay over here where we don't have to deal with it. I knew a college-educated black man in Chicago. He had to kick his drug addict brother out of his mother's house because he was robbing his mother blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's the thing with a lot of black people is they do the same stuff women do. They get overly offended over things that are true. They say you can't talk about it this way. And then they do ghetto shit and they're surprised, and we don't even want to fight. We say, okay, have fun with the ghetto shit. We're just going to walk away. We're just going to walk away.
That's like, guys, you can see videos where women are getting all hype or getting up in a guy's face and he's just laughing at it. Guys, just laugh. Just laugh. Because it takes the power away. What Pearl's doing right now is taking these people. You just don't have to give an F. People want to. This is black people, women, all these groups. They feel entitled to your time, to your resources, to all of it. You don't have to give anyone anything. No, you
And they
don't.
feel entitled to us protecting their reputation, which white people did for a while. White people protected black people's reputation forever. We went with the slavery narrative. Like, we went with all this bullshit and we got nothing in return. And we're like, do you know what? Yeah, we just don't. So again, if you guys want to come up here and tell me I should say my experiences differently, or you want to argue about why, please just stay in the chat. I don't want to talk to you. We're not here. I want to hear your experience. Why was it different? Not to criticize my lived experience, but share yours.
Well, there's Marvin in studio. Oh, there he is.
What's going on, Marvin?
Good afternoon, Pearl. Good afternoon, Doug MPA. Long time no see.
How you doing, buddy?
Great. Just got off work. Perfect timing. I wanted to point out a few things. I am black fatigue myself, Pearl.
Are you black? Are you something?
No.
Are you? You're white?
No, I'm black fatigue mentally because what I went through myself. I'm
Are you?
Latino.
You're
okay.
Latino. Okay.
Thought so.
So what was your experience?
On the streets or on business wise?
Why are you fatigued?
They're hard people to negotiate, especially in this neck of the woods where I'm at in the California area. They tend to not like to hear the truth, and then they start saying stuff like, "Oh, you must be racist." because you know you don't want to. They always saying stuff like, "Oh, you better than me, cuz you know you bad, cuz you know just a stupid words like that." And I can't deal with that. I've rejected so many of them because they're just hard to get along with.
And they crash out, huh?
Yeah. Not to mention, I was younger. I got robbed by a black guy in a public transportation in San Francisco, and on the Muni. I was only 14, and became a victim from assault from a black guy.
But
And
Marvin,
they're like, they're like, oh, is it the culture? Or is
yeah,
it genetic? And we're like, we don't care. We just want you to stop robbing us.
yeah, because Marvin, you're supposed to understand that he didn't have his father in his life, and he had lack of access to education, and 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 all this stuff. And who cares?
Who
No,
cares?
no.
We don't. And it's crazy. The last guy, no disrespect to him, but like I've read that book. I know the exact book he's talking about, and I've read it so many times. And it's just like it doesn't really matter where this stuff came from. This is not. I don't see history as really offering that many solutions. I don't really see it.
I'm in Alameda right now by the old naval station. There's a old aircraft carrier parked at the waterfront over here, so I'm in a good area. But just down the road is Oakland, and Oakland's full of black gangsters out of this world. They'll rob everything, anything from their community, even rob their own kind. And in the projects, they just don't care. Some people never grow out of that mentality, and they just been finessed, or they just never left the plantation. They just haven't grown out of that mindset of hurting people. They just keep constantly robbing and constantly just saying rude things. It's like, come on, you had 20, 30 years to do something with your lives. Go to school, better your education, better yourself as a person. And what do? They just stick with the robberies and all. They're always on the news, Channel 4, Channel 3, Channel 4, 5.
I was so I worked for a little bit in Baltimore,
Okay.
and the place that I work for, they try to patron black businesses, black owned businesses, right? And so and one thing I noticed in dealing with black owned businesses is that the first thing they do is tell you that they're black owned, and the reason why they do that is because black owned businesses, their only goal is to survive, not to thrive, not to make more money, not to give superior service and a superior product, right? But that's kind of like black culture in general. Like our goal is just to survive and not to thrive and do better.
Thanks for calling in.
Hey, look who's in the studio.
I know. I'm gonna bring him in 1 second.
He's gonna cook this one.
Yeah, I know. And this is the thing. I don't say this, because they want us to say, well, it's ghetto culture fatigue, whatever. And I'm like, look, if my experience was, oh, black people behave so much better when they just have money and are in better institutions. It's like, okay, I grew up in my middle school, 3 of the girls are doctors out of a 10-person female team, pretty high IQ, pretty intelligent. Saw the same patterns when black people entered that industry. I went to corporate America, 100% white office, white men. I was the only girl and there's one black guy. Obviously, I wasted people's time at work as white women do. I talk too much, right? I mean, come on. Distracted, I mean, what did the black guy do? He called fax lines. He could have worked and he just decided to call fax lines instead of doing his job. So again, I just don't.
I love that example. I love it.
I'm not making it up. They're like, you're making it up. I'm like, I am not. This is too specific. I mean, I could tell you his name. I wouldn't do that publicly, but like, and I remember everyone at the office was just amazed. They couldn't fire him because he was the only black guy. He got to do this for like 9 to 10 months. Like after they found out. Isn't that crazy? And then he lied on his resume, said he was like the CEO. Like, it was just crazy. Is it going to make a difference to the boss as to why he acted like that? We don't care. And And really, as far as white people go, it's kind of black people in general have just abused our kindness too much. It's kind of on you guys to prove you're not like that. And white people are so nice. Half the time we give you the benefit of the doubt anyway. I still say it. My staff is still 50% black. Like, that's the crazy thing. And another crazy thing I was thinking about, black people get madder at white people for racism than black people for murder. They murder other black people. Like there's rappers and shit that are in the public eye that murder other black people. And they get madder if a white woman says the N-word. Like that's a bigger crime than someone who killed like a bunch of like, oh my God. I'm like, the white woman that went viral said the N-word. Okay, whatever. Maybe like I personally wouldn't really use that, but it's like she didn't kill anybody. Some of these like heroes in the black community, for the women, they falsely accused, like the one that did it to Tory Lanez, like Megan Thee Stallion. Black women still love her. And it's like, but a bitch says the N-word, you know, it's like, all right, let's bring up Sean before I monologue even longer. Sean, welcome to the show.
Hey, my boy.
What's going on? What's going on?
What has been your experience? Similar, dissimilar, open to all. Feel free.
Yeah, no, my experience has been mostly negative. Hence why you see me on the lake, far from black people. So I'm really
let's go.
out here in the middle of nowhere. But no, I mean, I've experienced it from the globe. Black people in Brazil and Africa, it's the same complaints. White people, colonization, white people destroyed the natives. I mean, I would say in America, in my personal opinion, that the whites are great because they put up with so much BS for a long time. I mean, come on. Most white people even elected a black person to rule their country in the United States of America. That's how far, you know, we are as far as having those issues. Black fatigue, always blaming racism, always blaming the past for ailments. Of course, a community that ignores crime elements in our community and our cultures. Like we're talking about free prisoners. We got T-shirts saying let's free a prisoner when he committed a crime. It's ridiculous. And so it's not only happening for white folks, it happens to those people like even a Doug who tries to probably help and then just gets tired and says, you know what, I'm tired of y'all telling me that it's racism to fill out a loan application. If you fill it out, you're probably going to get approved and be able to buy a house. No, white people don't want us to win. They've always did this. And so it shows itself too much and it just gets annoying. And that's just how I experience on the black side. Now I'm a coon. I'm a sellout. I'm all these other different type of things.
I have a question. If we segregated black people to California and white people to Texas, where would you live and what would be your application process?
Come on. I'm going to live with the white folks, bro. I'm going to move with them. And they're going to allow me to move with them.
You, in our play pretend scenario, Doug MPI said he's in charge of allowing people in. Can you give him your pitch?
Yeah. So,
how would you pitch him?
Okay.
So to get into Texas, if you're black, if you're a woman, no bastard kids, no weed, no tattoos, student loan debt of less than $50,000. And then remember how Harvard added that the character you have to have a certain kind of character. I'd add that to black women. And then black men, no kids, no felonies, a bachelor's degree, no kids, no felonies, bachelor's degree, or if you don't have a bachelor's degree, at least 2 to 3 years of a highly valued skill or a trade.
Okay. Now, what was the question? You asking me
you gotta give your pitch. You're applying.
Okay, I'm applying. Okay, no problem.
Doug MPA
Okay.
scenario.
Hello, how are you doing today, Doug MPA?
No, Sean. So let's say that you were in charge of letting people into Texas that is all white for black people,
Okay.
and you got to set
Okay.
the terms. You got to set the terms. What
Okay.
would your
What would the
terms be?
terms be?
Hmm.
Black
Well,
people
number
are
one on top.
black people are got to be in charge because white people are too nice. We'll
Yeah,
start.
it'll be
Yeah,
racist.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll be racist and you'll be too nice. I'll be like, hold on, get out the way, white man. Let me show you how this is really done.
Okay, go
What's
ahead.
up? And see how you reply. But
Yeah.
no. So first, I would say I would definitely put on, do you own a laptop? I know it sounds crazy, but it actually means something. Do you own a laptop? If the answer is no, then you're automatically out, right? So that's very important, especially also about the kids. I'll actually never allow any black women in, so that's just an X. They'll have
Hey,
to,
okay.
marry somebody else. And no, it's just too steep, man. It's just too steep, the toxicity
Okay, what
of it.
about like
what if-
African women or Caribbean women? Are you
What
just
if-
saying like are you just saying say American black women? Or
What if
just
they're not
African
fat? Like, what if they're not fat?
No, they're still out. No, they're still out. Have you seen Howard? Like, you know what I'm saying? Have you seen Howard? It's actually a prestigious college, and they were still having grow litter. Like girls
Yeah.
who have been in the suburbs all their life, raised in $1 million houses in the white community, have still adopted traits
That's so
of ratchetness.
That's so
Yeah.
true.
Like
Yep.
Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, they still lead a woman who could actually have her own nail salon, her own, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It reaches that demographics. But we do have cornball black men. Those are the ones that I would be targeting, those cornball black men. We don't have too much cornball white black
Mhm.
women. And
Mhm.
so net, we'll just have to keep it like that. And what were you saying? You asked the question, Doug?
So would you let in black women from the Caribbean or the African continent, or just like a ban of all of them? Period.
No, because I always say, kind of like, if you come from a losing nation, why would I want to add you in my ranks? Like your nation's losing for the last 4 months. There is no black strong country, so it's hard for me to add that in there. I'll have to get somebody. I want to be allied with some forces that are actually going to help me economic, socially, and politically.
All right,
What were you
Sean's
gonna
got the
say?
job, man. You're
Yeah,
hired.
he's got the. What's funny is even in this scenario, I'd probably be more forgiving than you guys. I would say, oh, I mean, one ex-wife,
Exactly.
he could come in.
Well,
WMPA, no, he can't.
well, it's because here's the thing, and it's funny, it's like me and B Dubs. They say, oh, why do you care? It's because everything these people do affects me as a black person. Every story on the news I see, every time I see a headline, I know it's a black person. I'm like, dang, because that makes more people look at me sideways when I'm walking down the street. So
Well,
there's gonna be there have to be a time of multiple generations where that type of stuff needs to stop happening to kind of ease that tension a little bit, where there'd be no room for error, like none, zero. I want to get to the point
well,
where like,
also,
go ahead.
no, I was going to ask Pearl. Do you have Asian fatigue?
No, I don't. I mean,
Exactly. Wait, Pearl, are they a minority group?
yeah, I don't mind them.
Are they POC, people of color? Allegedly, that's what they would say. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
but
yellow people?
I can't think of anything they do wrong, really. I have Indian fatigue, so if that counts as Asian, I do have Indian. They don't smell very good.
Yeah, but that's it, right? Do they do all the other toxicity and all the other criminality?
No, but I just would prefer they go back as well. They poop.
What I'm just saying is, now, okay, if you had to rate it from 1 to 10 compared to the Indian fatigue to the actual black fatigue,
Black
which one would be
fatigue,
higher?
well, I mean, 12 after what happened in London. I got a 12. Indians, like a 5.7.
So, right, it's not even on the high end, right?
No.
So again, that kind of destroys the narrative that white people are just against all people. Again, Asians are doing extremely well in the United States, actually outperforming a lot of white people when it comes down to economics, in all class levels. And so that's why I said the excuse is not about being minority or being POC. It's about just being ridiculously bad at life and doing bad things. And I don't see many Asians protect the worst elements of their culture. I don't see Elon Musk stand up for trailer trash and say, well, trailer trash, the reason they're trailer trash is because, no, they just leave them over there in the parks and ignore them. Black people don't do that. They protect that group.
I
They
mean,
fight for that group.
I could do an hour monologue on white women. I really could. I really
Yeah,
could.
on Karens,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, most white women are Karens at some point. The
Yeah, exactly.
beauty fades, and for us a little bit sooner, right? Or
Yeah.
so, and then we crash out. So that's kind of.
And once again,
But the funny part
heard
was when you
Pearl
had the
talk about tonight.
conversation.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I
Right.
was saying the funny part is when we have these conversations, they said something like, and you remember this, Pearl. Well, y'all do school shootings. You were like, yeah, that's right. You didn't
Yep, I
deny
was gonna
it.
say that.
You said,
Yep.
yeah, that's right.
No gaslighting.
Yeah.
But when you said, hey, you do a lot of crime over here, they're like, oh, whoa, let me ask you why. Is it because slavery? Is it because like and then
And
it
the
gets all
systematic
crazy.
racism in the Jim
Why
Crow.
don't you want to talk to me, Pearl? I can't imagine a single reason.
Oh my gosh, man.
Pearl, why are you running? I'm like, because I'm fatigued. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the fatigue. We're gonna bring up hood servitive. You got
Hello?
hood servitive. What do you have to add to the conversation?
Oh,
Good to
well,
see you, buddy.
first off, likewise, yeah, I talked to Doug MPA a couple weeks ago when you first kicked off this Black Fatigue War. It was good stuff. And thanks for having me up. I got to tell you, I've been kind of watching you for a little while. The first time the Black crowd turned
your
on you, I
sound's going in
remember
and out. Your sound's going in.
Yeah, I'm on my phone right now. Forgive me, but no, I remember the first time you had this whole battle years ago, and we spoke a couple of times for a second then. But I think your villain arc has been interesting to watch because I do think it's true that you genuinely do like hang around. You have Black friends around you, all that. So it's hard for people to just immediately accuse you of racism. But I think the Black fatigue conversation really boils down to just being dishonest. Nobody wants to be honest about the real state of affairs or even why things are the way they are, like why so much of like if you look at the internet, a lot of Black content is coming up with conspiracy theories about white people do this and the history of racism of that. Like there's a lot of just contemplating white people that goes on and on the Black side. And I think if people would just be a lot more honest about what's happening and how we got to this point, there would be way less fatigue. But the fatigue thing is incredibly real, and it's amazing to me that so many Black folk try to deny it as if we haven't earned the reputation that we are on the other hand proud of. Because you get a lot of Black folk they celebrate the quote the ghetto, all that sort of hostile behavior. They will describe it as Black on one hand, but then when other people say, well, those are the things that make me not like you, then it's well, we don't do that. We're not all like that. It's a very weird thing, but again, it comes from I think a place of just being uncomfortable with honesty.
Yeah,
So
black people created this villain. I am the villain now, and you guys created it. I would have talked about it 2 years ago, but I was trying to get back on YouTube.
We have a thing, it's like one of the worst things to ever happened was this whole believe all women thing, where like women will defend a woman doing crazy stuff in the news, even knowing that they have friends in their real life that do the same thing, but they'll defend all women. With Black people, we defend all Black people when we suffer worse from the same Black people that we're defending. It's like, oh yeah, defend all Black people at all. No, not anymore. That time is up. No way.
Welcome to the show, Greg. What do you have to add?
Hey, Pearl. I used to live up there near Chicago Heights and worked at a factory, and I worked my way up to supervisor, and the entire line that made this car part was all Black except me. And then I lived in Gary, Indiana, where there was a little tiny trailer park, and that was the only white part of the entire part of Gary, Indiana. Well, anyway, while I was working at this park or at this car part place, making this part, you could go down the line and it was like a circus. It was like every single one of them you could just say was a complete fucktard moron. Every single one of them. I mean, one would drive this forklift drunk every day and disappear. The old man that was there, that was near retirement age, he would just walk in, he would clock in. I'm not kidding. He would walk back out of the factory and come back in at time to clock out. And he did this all the time and never got in trouble for it. Got paid every time. Another one of them, there's this big machine that would just rotate these big shredder. You probably seen metal things that come together and they shred the material. And there's a chute where you'd feed the material down in there. Well, this one black guy, he would hold on to a bar and he would stick his whole body in the chute. And his feet would be this far from those teeth. I mean, if he screwed up this far, he's a dead man. And he would just laugh and think it's just freaking hilarious. And he'd pull himself out of there and rather than realize that he just about came within half an inch of a very gruesome death, would just start cracking up and talking about the pussy stink on his fingers. I mean, this is who these people are. They're just all fucktards.
Okay.
And
okay. How is being their supervisor when you had to like discipline one of these people? How did that go? Because that's my worst nightmare right there. Thinking about
that. Well, so I tried to make the best of it. I knew I was in a losing situation, and I also was like 21 years old, so I was pretty young. So, you know, I'd just try to crack jokes and stuff. Like when a power would go out, I'd say, "Hey, y'all need to smile so I can take a head count here." You know,
That's
I mean,
funny.
what are you gonna do, right? But I mean,
I wanted to ask you guys something, especially Pearl and the white gentleman that just joined the panel. For the last 2 or 3 days, I guess I've been kind of covering a certain thing. The white man is fighting for his rights right now. So the other day, the White House has, I think she's with the EEOC, like the DOJ, Civil
I
Rights
saw
Department.
that.
And so now the white man, and this might apply to you. I don't know if you're still in the game or not, sir, but you can now sue if you believe that your white male civil rights have been violated in the workplace. Because you know how this DEI thing came out, and people are just like giddy to not hire a white guy. And I'm like, you know, technically that is kind of illegal, but you know, it's not my place, not my place to get in that fight. Now the DOJ wants the white man to get his rights back, and I'm just curious what you guys' take on that is.
I think it's great, but do you know what? White guys are so busy working that I feel like not that many white people are going to take, like, that's what I say. White people, I just don't really see even taking advantage of that system. I don't, I could be wrong. But just the white guys I know personally, I mean, they just don't think like that. They don't want to go to court. They don't really want to do it. But what do you guys
stop
do?
your life for that kind of?
Yeah.
Like
do you guys agree or disagree, Greg? What do you? Because I don't know.
I think.
Well,
go ahead. Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
I mean, I just, you try to avoid it. You just try to avoid the problems as much as possible. I got a Class A CDL and became a truck driver, and the guy training me. Okay, here I was in my 30s, and he was 21 at the time. Okay, so just barely old enough to drive the truck. And they'd made him my supervisor. He was out of Los Angeles, and here I'm a little country hick guy from West Virginia. And the guy's a complete moron. He didn't know what a credit card was. He played like the most horrible rap nonsense that was just constant filth the whole freaking time, every single word. And I'm just like, oh my God. And he'd blare it the whole, and we're driving literally from Rhode Island to California and back. Okay. And I'm 9 days into this, and we get stuck in a snowstorm in Pennsylvania on the interstate. And I parked the truck because I'm driving. I say, it's 2 feet of snow. We're in the mountains. It's freaking midnight. I said, we're done for tonight. I said, this isn't safe. We're going to freaking wreck. Well, he gets mad at me. And when it was time for him to drive an hour later, he says, we're driving. I'm getting out of here. I can't believe you did this. An hour later, he jackknifed the semi on the mountain, cut the truck in half, threw me from the back seat where I was asleep on the bunk, and I landed between the driver's seat and where the passenger seat had formerly been and was now a smear on the mountain. The antifreeze just flowing on me. And he's standing up hysterically going, ah, 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 and with a phone in his hand. He was on the phone when this happened. The world's worst snowstorm you've ever seen, 2 feet of snow in the mountains, and he was on the phone.
They have the audacity. I mean,
but Greg,
they just want to not notice. It's like
even a semi truck,
But Greg, do you think because that happened because of systemic racism? Do you think that was the reason?
Yeah. Well, when we were in California, I asked the company, I said, this guy's nuts. I said, he has no business behind the wheel. Please give me another supervisor. And they said, well, you know, and they kind of smirked like, yeah, we think we know what's going on here. No, you're just going to have to put up with it, you know, without
But
kind
you,
of
Greg, I have a
insinuating
question.
that.
Greg, would you sue? Like, if you could now, let's say this law is in action. At the time, would you sue? Like, would you do it?
In that case, I called every freaking lawyer I could find. I mean, dozens and dozens of lawyers, and every single one of them said the same thing. Well, you're an employee, so it's going to count. Your injuries are all under the employment insurance and all this, or not? Because
Okay.
even though it was a miracle, because like the bunk I was on was smashed up and everything,
Yeah.
and I was laying down beside there, but the only thing that happened to me was I had bruises. So without serious injuries, there wasn't a whole lot that the lawyers could do, they said.
I'm just more asking, like, to what extent it would take for you to sue someone, because you're a white guy, so I'm kind of trying to. I want to see, like, when would you actually sue an employer? Like what would it take for you to sue somebody?
Oh, a drop of a hat. I'm right now. I'm suing the country of Yemen. Right now, I'm suing the
Okay.
a company that put
The
no,
country of
seriously. My brother
Yemen.
was on the USS Cole.
I've been proven wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe white guys are going to sue. Okay.
Well, Pearl, that's actually, I'm thinking you were wrong about that because I think there is a little bit of like what I was talking about earlier. There's a lot of righteous anger. You know, it's one thing to be angry, it's another thing to be 100% right and angry. That will motivate you across the mountaintop. And so I think a lot of guys are kind of in that position now where they're motivated and they feel righteous enough to do things that we might not have thought of being done 50 years ago.
Well, see, I thought about putting solar panels on my house one time, so I called this company, and they came up from North Carolina. My first red flag should have been when they sent a Nigerian guy to my house to sell me the package. But for whatever reason, we went ahead and did it. And then they brought a crew up from North Carolina, and they were all black. Every single one of them got out. You could smell the marijuana before they got out. All of them were stoned. They put the solar panels on my house, and they've never worked, not one bit since. They never took off a single bit. Now we're suing them. And then their company went bankrupt as soon as they put them on there. And so now we're suing the banks that were behind that.
one of my
Yeah,
friends,
but
So
what
yeah, I'm all
you're
for
forgetting,
suing.
Greg.
I'm sick of this stuff.
Yeah, but what you're forgetting, Greg, is because they sent the Nigerian because of colonization. Then they
Right,
sent
right,
the other guy,
right.
and they were smoking weed because of the racism was so heavy on the way there that they had to cope with the marijuana.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
that's what
And
really happened.
well,
But
and
you
it's
don't
just
understand that.
it's like
Mhm, mhm.
white people don't really care about why. We just want you guys to stop.
Yeah.
Right.
We just want,
Yeah.
like, and we're so good natured. In all honesty, my dad, he's like the white CEO that everyone, made a villain for you. Like, he's not a public guy, but like he's like the archetype, like white male CEO, right? And I'm like, my dad's the least racist, especially when you go into high IQ people, super high IQ. They're the least racist people ever because they're sick of dumb people. So if anybody of any race or color is competent, they do not. I mean, even my dad says I'm extreme, like for like racism and sexism. Like, my dad is more mild. Anyway, so I just think it's crazy how it's like there's this whole thing about why, and we're like, we just don't care. We do not care. We just want it to end.
Yeah. I
Right.
had a
Well, back at that factory, the on other shifts and stuff, I mean, the Mexicans, they work their asses off. I never had anything against any of them.
My dad
You,
said the same thing.
you know, the Serbians, they all worked. For some reason there was a Serbian crowd that lived in that area, and there's a bunch of them working there. They worked their asses off. The only problems we ever really had in general was just the black people, and they were the majority of the people there, and it was like a big circus. I always wondered, like, when the Japanese people that owned the plant would come down and inspect and walk through there, just like you know how real serious and austere Japanese people are. When they would just see these people, you just wonder, like, what are they thinking?
yeah. One of my friends moved from the DC area to the Carolinas and booked a moving company. And in the DMV, it's either Mexicans or Africans moving companies, right? And for some reason, three black guys showed up, and my friend's like, "Fuck," right, right. And so They showed up, complained the entire time. Now, if you have an apartment, a 3-bedroom apartment or less, Mexicans and Africans, they'll get you your whole thing packed and moved in like 6 hours, 7 hours, right? These guys took 13 hours, right? Broke the corner off one of their bedroom set pieces, broke one of their TVs, showed up late the next day to drop stuff off. It was a mess. It was a mess. I'm telling you guys, there's a reason why Black people, and I'm Black, I can say it, we have the reputation that we have.
Yeah.
This is the reason why.
Doug, this is a thing this is an idea that I've been thinking about a lot over the last couple of years. The more I get into this conversation about race in America, because I talk about race and politics a lot in my channel. And this is something that bugs me. Like, that saying from Dr. King, being judged by the content of our character. Like, what if we always were? Like, what if, like how the media is
That's
lying
a
about
good one.
news and stuff like that? Like, the media will make Black folk as if we're always the perpetual, innocent, 100% pure victim. But in reality, and especially now that we have the internet and we can all communicate a lot faster and we can share videos that the news will never show you. And then body cam is another thing. Body cam totally destroyed so much of that like BLM narrative. And it got me to thinking like, well, what if this was pretty much always the case? And then we just were more honest about it back in the day because, that was a different crowd of people. They fought World War One. They came off of slavery or whatever. They were just more honest about how to deal with things. But after like especially after World War II, we had what you call like the post-war liberal consensus, which is basically the white man is bad, so all the brown people get to have a free ride. And that was kind of the beginning of how we got to this point. But it always makes me wonder, like, well, if the news is lying about how awful the conditions are and how the news will downplay the kind of heinous crimes that Black folk have committed against like white folk in particular, right? Not just in general. What if it was always this way? And only recently, like since the 60s, have they started lying about it, What if we were always being judged by the content of our character? It's a rough thought.
Makes sense to me.
Let's bring up, I think we have a oh, he didn't. Thought someone had a disagreement. Okay. Sharon, am I saying that right?
No, it's pronounced Sharon. How are you doing?
Sorry, Sharon, welcome to the show. What did you have to add?
It sounds like it's more of anecdotal experiences rather than a totality of what Black folks.
Wait, just so fast. Do I look like a gal? Look, you either click on the link, you've been trolling in the chat this whole time. Click on the link and join the call, or I'm banning you from the chat because you've been trolling this entire time. I'm giving you a minute. I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
Sorry, I thought you were talking to him for a second.
No, not you.
I was like, what did he say in the chat?
No, this do I look like a whatever person? The Black girl who's been trolling in the chat this whole time.
Oh my god! Oh, by the way, just to give you, this is anecdotal. So this is the whole point of this call is to talk about your experience.
Sharon, go ahead. Yeah.
You can disagree, but and respectfully, we just don't. I don't want to be lectured about like. Obviously, if it's my experience, it's anecdotal, but feel free to share your experience. Go ahead.
Okay. So my experience, I don't have a bunch of horrible experience with Black folks. I'm from Brownsville, New York, but which is a pretty rough place. However, I don't have bad experiences with Black folks. A lot of people, they do whatever they got to do to feed their family and attempt to get up out that neighborhood. So if it's about anecdote, I don't have no bad experience about Black folks. I just got bad experience about human beings, period.
Okay.
I think
I'm just curious, have you noticed a difference in like you haven't seen any of the ghetto stuff we're talking about? Like you've seen none of it?
No, I'm from a ghetto, so yes, I've seen some horrible things, but I don't think that is an issue that's just only for Black folks.
Really? So
Seriously.
You think like the ghetto stuff, you see the exact white people doing the exact same stuff?
Absolutely. Mexicans, white
Bro,
folks.
come on, man. Now you're capping.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh, dude, man.
I'm gonna let him cap. I'm gonna let him cap. It's fine. I'm not gonna.
Bro, especially when it comes to Black women, single motherhood, ratchetness, tattoos, weave, bad attitudes. Bro, come on.
Yeah, so I think all those things you're talking about is in with every race. We know
Oh,
Spanish women.
come on, man.
Yeah, we know Spanish women, they stab their mans, right? We know white women, they have a situation with being a baby mother as well and wearing weaves, doing OnlyFans. So this whole idea that it's just only us that's doing it is wild to me personally.
You
I
know,
mean,
I just learned yesterday that Atlanta is the OnlyFans capital of the country now.
Damn. Black. I actually would almost. I was about to agree with him on the OnlyFans thing, but black woman, you found
Yeah,
a
you would think it would be the white chicks, but apparently, Atlanta is the capital. So listen, that's black men and women as a team looking crazy.
yeah, so that's just my experience. My experience is just a ignorant people thing. It's not a black person thing.
Well, let me draw you a
Ignorant
comparison though.
Ignorant and ghetto people, they act the same no matter what color they are.
I don't think so, my friend, because when I was
hold on, just real fast.
all right,
Miami,
all right.
Florida is number 1. Atlanta is a close number 2. But Miami, Florida, it says often tops created per capita. But then Atlanta is so it goes back and forth per capita between Miami and Atlanta. Go ahead, Greg. I'm sorry.
All right, but so when I was up here in Chicago, I was big into religion and fundamentalist Christianity stuff. So we would go out into the Robert Taylor homes, and that real dangerous, kind of stupid for us to do it, but we did. And these things go, if you're not familiar with it, they're 17 stories high and they go for miles, and they're 100% black. Okay. And doesn't matter how many buildings, almost all the apartments will be burned out except maybe 1 out of 17. And there'll be one family living in that one. And I would go into them, and here's the difference. And I'm not even joking. We'd have to write down their names so they could ride with us to church. And I would bring out 10 kids out of one apartment to ride in my bus, and every single one from this mother had a different last name. That's not even an exaggeration. That's literal truth. And 10 kids. And you'd go in there, and okay, there'd be roaches lined up on the wall. Like you'd see them lined up going across the wall, an old burned out stove, just filthy, nasty as can be. And then just the biggest freaking vehicle you've ever seen in your life down there at the bottom that they drive. Like, what planet is this? How do they live like this? Now, in comparison, I live in on the border of West Virginia now. I'm on the Ohio side. And I live in an all white town now. So maybe less than 1% black and anything else. So there's a rundown area, but it's nothing like that. Okay. When you go in those buildings in Chicago, you would see feces everywhere, human feces. You'd see every single inch. So I'm not exaggerating. All 17 stores covered in graffiti. Every single inch. You would try to ride the elevator, and the stench was so bad from the piss and literal human feces there on the elevator that it was just unbearable. I knocked on one door, and the door was a little open, and it swung open a little bit, and there was somebody snorting cocaine. I mean, it was just the most unbelievable stuff I've ever seen in my life. But down here in West Virginia, there's a rundown, what they call the ghetto, because they have no concept of the ghetto. And, I'd walk down it, I wouldn't be worried. There's some crime, there's some drugs, but I drive past it all the time on the way down to the Y, and I don't worry about it, a massive, massive difference. It's a little run down. There's some houses that need painting, but some of them are worse than others. But it ain't nothing like that. That's the difference.
I think this is just your eyes, because everybody knows West Virginia is probably one of the worst places in America you could live. It got the highest. It is run down beyond just paint. The place it got the biggest drug users in West Virginia, and like you said, it is majority white folks there. They are living in.
I'm sure, but I think here's the challenge though. Is it's like you guys always have to bring up West Virginia because it's not common. Like you can't.
Exactly.
It's an abnormality where I could literally go to any hood in America and it's going to be black people.
And also, rednecks don't try to gaslight.
Any city, like
so I only brought up West Virginia because he lives there and he's trying to act like West Virginia is not so bad and horrible. No, it's a horrible place. Nobody wants to live there. You could buy probably 60 acres for $10 there. It's so bad. They'll pay you to live there to try to uplifted, and it's horrible there. You look at, if we used to go on Zillow and look at houses in West Virginia, they are ran down exactly how he's talking about, with garbage everywhere. Nobody's willing to invest in a place like West Virginia. So to act as if, all I'm saying is poverty is poverty. It doesn't matter what race it is. When you are in that poverty-stricken mind state, you are doing the most horrible thing, and most likely in drugs, especially in West Virginia, where he know it is
How do you account for this then? How do you account for this? So many people even within Black America and also within the Black diaspora, and then you get to all the other non-Black groups, Asians, Latinos, white people. Why do so many people seem to share the same anecdotal experiences that Pearl and I and everybody else on the panel, except for you, seem to agree upon? Why is that collective reputation so it's so widespread? Everyone seems to get it except for a few people like you.
Damn.
Well, I mean, nowhere in West Virginia have I ever seen shit on the porch.
We let him answer. Let him answer. Go ahead.
Oh, so no, because I see you muted me, so I wasn't sure if you want me to speak or not. So the problem is that, like, we live in major cities where there's a lot of human beings there, and so yes, so our ghettos is a little bit bigger than a small town like West Virginia. You know for a fact, being from Brooklyn, right? Small places in Brooklyn, just one little neighborhood is 10 times, maybe even 100 times bigger than a West Virginia. So yeah, you encounter a lot of different Black folks that's from the ghetto, but it doesn't mean that we are the most ghetto in America. That's just not a true statement, and it's a horrible statement.
Again, how do you account for the collective that?
Hold on. The biggest difference I've seen between rednecks and Black people in the hood is rednecks embrace their redneckness. They don't try to gaslight. They'll be like, yeah, you know what? I'm a NASCAR loving redneck. Whereas Black people, if you call them a redneck, they'll say, I am a redneck. Yes, 100%. I like shooting guns and a pickup truck. But Black people, you can't even call them like you it's the awareness. If you try to say, oh, you're from the hood, oh, well, but you have to understand why, and this, that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Just own it, dude. Just own it. Say, yeah, I'm from the hood. But
well, again,
gaslighting from.
So I think that
let me reiterate the question one more time, because I don't think you approached the question at all, Sharon. This is largely a reputational problem with Black America. How do you account for the collective anecdotal experiences that so many other groups of people seem to have? And are they all having a mass hallucination about Black people?
So yes, they are, because you are talking about ghetto Black people or poverty-stricken Black folks. Because I'm pretty sure whoever got in contact with, I believe his name is Financial Frontier, I'm pretty sure they don't have that same experience with him. Or the young man that's I'm speaking with the cartoon, they probably don't have the same experience with him because they are not ghetto-minded, right? They was able to uplift their thinking. And so when we realize that human beings, they just move according to their intelligence or poverty level, then we can have an honest conversation. So yeah, it is some horrible poverty-stricken human beings, but I go for all races. It ain't just for Black folks.
So to reiterate, your answer is mass hallucination. Everyone else is effectively crazy, and Black people are just normal. That's effectively your position.
So all I'm saying is that on this panel right now, what is the chances that we got this young man that's sitting by the lake, the cartoon guy, they seem like they are normal Black human beings. And I'm pretty sure
that lake background is fake. So that kind of blows up your whole entire argument. It's like a fake image of Black people that you want us to believe in, much like his background.
My background ain't fake, bro. I'm on the lake. What are you talking about?
Oh, my bad. My bad. I thought that was some AI, because you changed it up a couple times. I thought that was something else. But
so I think sometimes people just don't believe that normal Black people actually exist. They only have a lens on ghetto Black folks. So this young man that's on the lake, is plenty of young men that's like him as well, moving in the world. I don't have the same issue with people looking at me as some ghetto Black person, even though I was born and raised in the ghetto. So
but you're affected by ghetto Black people, though.
Say what?
You are affected by ghetto Black people, though.
I don't believe I am. No.
See, therein lies the problem, right there.
Because
you are defending people. You are defending people who who damage your ethnic image, who wouldn't piss on you if your gums were on fire, would rob from you, steal from you, and freaking you're defending these people with that level of ignorance, and it's sad.
No, so what I'm doing is the same thing like what you said earlier. The rednecks is the rednecks, and the uppity white folks is the uppity white folks. So it's just I don't have to defend them at all. The same way how white folks don't feel like they have to defend whoever is the the West Virginia white folks of America. Nobody cares.
But that's literally the problem.
I'm doing the exact same thing. I understand that it's a difference between the ghetto black person and the person that got themselves up out the ghetto mentally, and I could deal and I could build with that person. It got idiots all over the world. It got
Not
idiots
really.
in every race.
I gotta be honest, not really. I mean, white men are really smart, and you don't really find that most of them are idiots. I mean, like at all. I grew up in
And we all know exceptions
Yeah.
to the rule with black people. I mean, everybody knows an exception. But, I have coincidentally, of all things, I have a black neighbor, and she like wins the, award for the ladies of the month, and all this, keeps her yard real pretty. And, she's a great neighbor. We all know exceptions, but the exception is not the rule. I don't know of any place on earth, and I mean in the entire planet, and I'm sure there is because I don't know everything, but I don't know of a single place that is majority black that is nice or that people would really want to be in, that isn't run down. I don't know a single country. I don't know a single city like that. I'm not aware of a single place on the entire planet that's like that.
I'm gonna let Reese from Philly go because he's waiting patiently. Reese, what's up, buddy?
While I got the mic, I'll respond to the brother was just talking real quickly. There are communities like this here and there, sparse, but they're not all over the place, and they are small. They're usually on the close proximity to the ghetto too, but they do exist. So you're a little bit wrong there. But Miss Hannah Pearl Davis, today's your lucky day. Uncle Reese is going to help you with your BF, okay? Because you don't really have it. What you have is the equivalent to like a mild cold or
black fatigue. Sorry. See that? Oh my god.
Guys, Ho Math was on here and he said the best thing about this. He said this is a feelings-based thing. People see with their eyes, and you can't use all the data and statistics to tell a group of people, but even white people, that they shouldn't feel the way that they feel. And I just don't understand. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, a whole math hand drawing about black fatigue would be epic.
I think he has one. Does he not?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
So I guess maybe because I work in the construction world, I run my own construction company. So I see a plethora of different races that are not smart to very intelligent young men of all races. And I guess maybe that's why I have a disagreement with y'all saying that white men have an extreme high intelligence level. It's just not true when it comes to race. It's really a competent thing. It's a lot of people that are incompetent in every race.
It's just not the same though, because there's not a lot of white people that are incompetent. Like, I'm just being honest. I grew up in an all white area. Most white guys are competent at something. They might not be like they might not be like gifted in like the traditional sense, but even like when I think of like one of the dumber white people I know, even he can like build a house with his hands. He's not stupid.
Right. I would say like in our culture, we know that at least in Black America, when it comes down to athletics, Black people are very competent. And because of that reason, you could say genetics, you could say it's just culture. It's irrelevant. The end result is they're very competent in this aspect of human endeavor. Now, white people are very competent in many other things like nation building, science, just the STEMs in general. Now, Asians are too. And you could say what the reasons are, but the end result still remains the same. When we have this conversation, no one's attempting to say that there's no Black people in the entire galaxy that can't do X, Y, and Z. What they're saying is we have a large problem with this group of people that are conducting these crimes, period. Now, what we're doing is, well, I don't know, everybody has crime. I mean, it's not real. No, this is a lot of crime coming from a small group. And I'm going to be the black person who says, that's true. Does that mean I don't exist and I can't do math and I don't have a stop? No, it doesn't. It just means that I'm identifying an issue. And poverty is not an excuse. There's many countries in the world that are poorer than America, but they don't commit that much crime. So crime is no excuse. You don't go delete people because you're poor. In Kenya, if you steal, the society will take you out and call the cops to pick up your body because they don't tolerate crime. So it's a culture too. It's not, I'm poor, I steal, and I have to feed my family. You don't steal from people in your own community.
You know the funny
That's a
thing?
big difference.
When you brought up Kenya, let me just real quick. Let me just point this out. When you brought up Kenya, and this is relatively true for any of these sort of ethnically homogenous places, right? In Kenya, amongst the Kenyans, they will have no problem with justice being doled out to a criminal because that's just the way it is, right? But in America, and we have a very weird dynamic where, in the eyes of Black America, law enforcement, law and order is basically the white man. And so, because law as a concept, law enforcement as a concept seems to be connected to the white man, it's hard to get Black folk to just internalize a lot of these concepts because too much of it is internally connected to being white in some type of way. And so, it's hard for people to make these connections. But go ahead.
Yeah. So just to concede to the I guess the murder rate situation, yeah, that's a situation that we got to get a handle on. However, if we gonna talk about crime, then we got to.
It's like murder. Like that's
say that again.
That's pretty bad, you know.
Absolutely, and it's something that we got to get a handle on.
If you're gonna, please don't bring up the white school shooters.
Okay,
It's
and
not
so
fair.
if we're looking at crime in totality, then we just need to handle crime in totality and not just cherry pick one part of the crime and try to use that as excuses just to beat down on one demographic of people. That's my only issue I have with it. Crime in totality is a plethora of different people that's committing crimes. It ain't just, and I get it. That crime is one of the worst.
Nobody's saying it's just black, Sharon. Nobody said that.
No, that's what they are saying.
No, nobody's saying that.
I think that's what people hear because that's how you want to fight this argument, but that's not what the argument actually is.
So, Sean, murder is pretty serious, my guy. All right. It's not, we need to get a handle on that. People are being deleted. It's not something you just breeze over and be like, let's talk about other crime like pock picketing. No, let's talk about people deleting people, babies and children and young boys who try to actually help their community end up getting pewed by their own people. That's serious. That's something we say, hey, let's segment the whole entire conversation off. Not, hey, let's talk about white collar crime. No, let's talk about people being deleted. That is pretty serious.
Okay, so let's talk about, so what is it about
that's extremely serious.
So
let's stay there.
How do we solve
let's
that
save
problem?
some lives.
Well, that's big picture. Here's how you solve it. It's you start at the simple level. You start with teaching your kids, hey, don't throw the trash on the floor in your room. Pick it up and throw it in the trash can. And if they're not, they're in trouble. And when something breaks at your house, you fix it. If you need to paint your house, you paint it. If the grass is tall, you cut it. You go to these ghettos, they don't do these things routinely, and it's not that they couldn't. You know, they could get a lawnmower. You can find a lawnmower for $50 online.
You have,
you can do these things. You choose not to.
You have both parents in the home, and your kids should, because I'm from the generation where you had a healthy fear and respect of your parents. When I was young, I would rather have the school call the police than call my dad. Right? We need to get back to that, where parents have such a strong presence that the kids have a healthy fear and respect of their parents, because that's how they get a healthy fear and respect of law enforcement, and how incarceration becomes a successful deterrent. So how about we start there?
Being fearful of your parents doesn't help with crime. That doesn't help. Most of the people that's in these
bro, no. I'm sorry, guys. I let that go on a little too long, guys. I'm sorry, man. Like that right there is the problem. The gaslighting, the deflection. Oh, it's not a race thing at all, guys. Come on. And like we let that go so you can see exactly what we have to deal with. That right there.
Ironically enough, I think that's actually the cure to black fatigue. I mean, it's sort of like, with women, because a lot of this black argument, a lot of the black politics, in my mind, it codes as very feminine as well. And you know how, like, with a lot of times with women, you just got to say no. Just tell her she's crazy and shut up. And it's the same thing with, like, it's literally like that with the black fatigue conversation. Like, since the civil rights era, since Dr. King, white America has refused to tell black America that you're kind of crazy and shut up. Just shut up. Shut up and dribble wasn't exactly a wrong thing to say. You know what I mean?
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't. No, it
And,
I
wasn't.
and
agree.
so, and
No, it
honestly, I
wasn't.
think it's just it's a matter of that. You know how, like, when somebody knows they can get away with a thing, like with a kid, when the kid knows he can steal from the cookie jar, he's gonna steal from the cookie jar, and then he's gonna
Yeah.
get fat and turn into a piece of shit at the same time. That's what's happened with Black America. We knew we could steal, and now we're fat and arrogant.
Or guys,
Yeah, that's
guys,
it.
your sister is hitting you, and then you hit her back once, and she runs to your mom. Your mom says, "You should never hit a girl." Like, but she hit me like 10 times before that. That's black. Black people are the little sister that keep hitting the bigger brother, and then run to the mom and be like, "Oh, see." Why America keeps getting scolded for it? It's BS.
We got. Sorry to move his username. Modern Men Lost. I can't read the end of it, but welcome to
Hello.
the show. What is your experience on the topic? Also, I don't. What studio have you gone to? You can go after him if you haven't. I left for a second to let my dog out. Go ahead.
Well, I think that this conversation is sort of a cycle that keeps the Mexicans in the real power. I mean, I don't know why anyone's. I mean, we talk about ICE, right? ICE is coming to get everyone, but I think the ICE is also made up of Mexicans. So while we sit here and argue about black and the white and the black crime and this and that, who's making their way to the top? It's neither one of us, and I think they earned it though. I mean, they worked the hardest. So I think if we step up our game, maybe the blacks and the Oreo sort of combo could make our
My
way. But
God.
individually, it's not going to happen.
My guy, I was just saying that Black America and white America should unite in racism against everybody else. That's how this country got started, okay? Black
Amen.
America, white America, we have the blood and soil argument, for different reasons, but the same shit. And I think we actually do have a claim to that sort of national chauvinism thing. Like, we should actually tell everybody else this is our place. And, we can fight amongst ourselves, but when other groups get to come in and peel us off at the edges because we're fighting amongst ourselves, it's a bad thing. I really do agree with that. Black folk and white folk got a lot more in common at this point than like Black America and Africa. We have very little in common. We are more connected to white America than anyone in Black Africa.
Exactly. And if you really want a good uniting point, I mean, let's unite on getting the Jews out of the banking system and out of Hollywood. And
Oh,
Yo,
no,
they're the ones that did the slavery.
okay, we're
no.
gonna mute
It's a hot
you.
topic.
Sorry, you're
You
fixed.
don't
Yeah,
say
you
the J
can't.
stuff around here.
Yeah,
YouTube will get you so fast.
too bad you're a good contributor.
Yeah,
to the
come
end.
on, man.
I gotta know. I
You
gotta
know better
skill
than that.
tolerance. I
Yeah,
don't
flew too close to the sun. That was crazy.
Yeah,
just.
he wasn't wrong though.
But if the blacks and the Jews and the whites
Guys,
all get
guys,
together,
no, now
It's
you're gone.
Damn it.
Guys,
Damn it.
I'm gonna say
What's
this.
going on with these
Guys,
guys?
stop. Everyone listen. The J stuff is a no-go on this channel.
yeah.
If you
Go
say
on,
that
go to
one
Candace.
time, you're gone.
Candace Owens has a show that you guys can do.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
Candace Owens is doing it. I'm well.
There's zero tolerance because some people can say it, some people can't. We don't know how and why, but you'll find out real fast if you can't say it because you will get demonetized.
Yeah.
No J stuff.
It's just not my issue. Okay, Jep, what was your experience?
I'm 40, but I don't do construction anymore. And my whole entire 20s is construction. And I found that it's easier to work with Mexicans. And they actually do the work the first time.
Mm-hmm. You're
You
in
don't have to, like,
construction. In
Say that again.
construction?
Yeah, construction is just basic, like tearing, gutting apartments for remodeling. Like they don't want to do, they just want to sit there or just disappear. Then come back and like expect they're going to get paid. And it's like, nope. And they want to get mad and use race card and use everything as an excuse. You know, it's just, I mean, you're right though, Pearl. I want everybody just to stop. I don't care what the excuse is. I just want it to stop.
Yeah, it's like we don't. Why? It's just we do not care. What is your experience, Full Wee Todd?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, I've been experiencing that my entire life. Well, I didn't notice it until I became conservative in 2021. I'm black. You know, the picture doesn't show it. You know what I mean? But they embarrass me every time they speak. It's just like I understand why. I always say this: when you think black, think woman. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? No
Yeah.
accountability and stuff like that. I always say it. I mean, the reason. I mean, it should be obvious. It's because we have the highest rate of single mothers. The more single mother, the higher the percentage of single mothers, the more you're going to act, you know, with lack of accountability. So when you see these single mothers raising these kids, you can understand why they act the way that they do. And I kind of hate that the guy that was gaslighting left, because I'm kind of like preaching to the choir. You know what I mean? Because I did want to, tell him some things, because he tried to make some points about trailer parks and in the hood. All I know is black people in the suburbs, right? They kind of promote that hood culture as well, but you don't see white people in the suburbs promoting trailer park culture. You know what I mean? It's two totally different things, and it's very disingenuous for him to compare that way by understanding that because he's a woman, and he's a woman because he's dark skinned like me. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. I can keep going, but I don't know if I was rambling, if I made any sense.
Mm-hmm. No, did. We have someone else on the tree.
No, hold on.
Okay, go
We
ahead.
have, guess who decided to call in? The person in the chat. So we're gonna let them up.
Who?
Okay. Do I look like a GAF? Are you there?
I am.
Okay. So you were getting really, really hot in the chat about this subject here. So I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to state your position. Go right ahead.
I just think, like the other man said, it's a human being issue. It's not a race issue.
Well, then why do black people do so much of it?
But again, you could point out what black people do. I could point out what white people do, and et cetera, et cetera. At the end of the day, it's a human being issue.
White people do
So
not.
again, it's like, what is your? It's like, what is your point? Like, what do you?
Oh, there you go. It's like black women and being unpleasant. It's just the norm. Hold on. I'm gonna take everyone else down. So it's just 3 of us. Okay. So now I don't know if they taught you this, but when you do call into other people's shows, you do have to submit to the rules and have basic decorum and decency. And that means when we have a conversation, it's 2-way and you cannot overtalk the host. Can you do it? I'm going to unmute you. Can you do it?
Yeah, I could do it if you don't overtalk me.
Wait, whose show are you on?
That's actually not how it works, Shaniqua. Sorry. Oh my God. This is what I mean. I'm going to be honest. You guys just don't know how unlikable you are. I don't know if I don't know why.
Baby, I don't want to be likable.
Oh my God. See?
Guys,
where she go?
What percentage of black fatigue do you think is black women? Because I'd say it's like 80%. Okay, like, black men, yeah, we rob and shoot and steal, but all the rest of it is black women. All the unquantifiable stuff. Okay, we have the crime statistics, but everything else is black women.
Yeah, and look, I think I'm going to end the show because I'm getting kind of hungry, so I'm going to tune out. But yeah, I mean, thank you for proving my point, Shaniqua. I don't even need to be racist because you guys can just, through your actions, show how unlikable you are. You see
And
what I
guys,
mean?
I'm going to reiterate. Pearl didn't start this way.
I did
They
not.
wanted a villain, and they got him. Pearl has given more people the opportunity of a lifetime, especially when it comes to black people, and they thrown it back in their face, right? And this is what happens. And just like how Nick F said that he had a whole bunch of black fans, it's true. A lot of white creators, they speak for black people who are accomplished, educated, successful, and are tired of the BS.
She goes, I'm in charge, Pearl. Nah. Click. Oh my God. Look, I don't know. They're saying in the chat, they're like, Pearl, are you likable? Look it. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not, but I know who I'm more likable than, and that's black women. So, look, thanks for the contributions, Doug MPA. All right, guys, I'm going to go for the night. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I love you guys. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. And, you know, maybe next time I want to do this panel again. So I think I'm going to do a similar topic, but you know, a lot of like black people, I don't know if you guys want white people to be honest. So when we're honest, you don't like it. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.